Hey everyone, welcome to Firefly Devs. It's another live stream. We're going to be doing some work on the new game engine of the remastering of the Angeldust game. Last time we left off with the bamboo stick texture. So the bamboo stick is a column block that's in the game. And we sort of discovered that having only normal mapping and ambient occlusion isn't enough to give the illusion of a proper bamboo stick. And that probably also holds for the brick chimneys and the metal pipes in the game. So we're going to be doing a bit of an expansion to the game engine itself to add more geometry for those blocks, see if that looks good. So instead of using only a few textures to sort of create the illusion of depth, we're going to add actual depth to the geometry. So let's first draw a picture of what I mean, and let me open the chat as well. So I started a bit earlier, by the way, so it's 20 minutes early, but that gives us a bit more time at the end to get everything working, hopefully. So here we go. Let's start off with the drawing. So the column blocks in the game, they look like this. You've already seen them if you've played the game. Let me use the super fancy straight line tool here. Boom, there we go. Nice straight line. So imagine that this is a column block. And now what we want to do is to add the illusion, or instead of an illusion, we're going to actually add some geometry to create this chimney sort of effect, so this recessed part of the block. Now it would be nice if we could make it like this, so if the bottom part also had this opening and that it would connect like this. But unfortunately this is not something we can do. The geometry is sort of limited in its ability to... yeah, Niels, you're the only one here. This geometry is sort of limited in its ability to deduce where the blocks are and like what the surrounding blocks are. So I don't think we're able to make it like this, but what we can do is make it like an hourglass shape. And we saw this picture in the last stream, but we're going to expand on that today. So somewhat like this. So we're going to pull all of these faces together in the center here, and then we can taper them out on the bottom side as well, like this. So boop, boop. Like this. This sort of shape, at least we'll get a nice opening on both of the ends, like if there's an end in the block at all, because we need to expand the engine to know which blocks do have this and which blocks don't have this. But if we take a look at the face profile itself, so we're going to zoom in on this face, and that sort of looks like this. Like a nice diamond, like this. Boop, boop, boop. So we're going to have to change the geometry from creating only this outer face to creating this inner face. Now, game engines, like geometry in general on the computer, works with triangles, so we're going to have to do a bit of massaging of the geometry here. So this is the original cap end of the column block, or the girder blocks even, and it's just divided into two, like triangle 1, triangle 2, like this. What we are going to have to do is to make this split up. We're probably going to split them up at the end points like this. So that leaves us with 4 quads. A quad is a 4-point polygon, and we can split these up along the sides like this. So we're going to tessellate it like this. Tessellation is the process of splitting geometry into triangles. So then we get 1, 2, 3, 4. You already know how many these are. 5, 6, 7, 8 triangles. And then of course we'll get the center point, and we'll have to add more triangles for that as well. So this is sort of the top view of what our geometry is going to look like. So 10, 9, 10, 11, and 12, like this. And it's on both sides, so we're gonna get a major explosion in the number of triangles here. But that doesn't matter. This remastering is aimed at higher end computers that can probably handle this amount of triangles. And like, if the effect looks good, it's worth it, because we've already seen, let me open it up in the game, we've already seen that using only a normal map and an ambient occlusion map is not the best. It's not the best solution. So let's see if we can make something better. I think there should be a few bamboo sticks still standing from the last time we were here. Yeah, here we go. This is the effect that I'm talking about. So this top side of the block now uses a normal map and ambient occlusion to give the illusion of being a stick, a hollow stick. It sort of works for the circular shape. It's sort of an optical illusion. And if shadow falls onto it, the ambient occlusion really takes over, and you can see that it really looks like a hollow stick of sorts. But we can do better, we can do better. So we're going to tweak the geometry and see what it looks like. If it's good, we'll keep it. If it's not good, we won't keep it. We'll just toss it out and find another solution. So that's the idea. That's what it looks like. This is the plan. So we want to start like adding geometry to the faces of these blocks. We'll start off by doing this to every column block because we just want to see what the effect looks like. Maybe an initial version could instead be just a hollow square. So we could make the cap and then the center point, and then we could just make 4 triangles that go into the center point. So that we don't have a border, so we would be missing the border part on the cap. Doesn't really matter. We want to see what the effect looks like, if it gives a bit of depth and shading to the block. So maybe that's the idea, that we take a column block. Let's do a 3D view of it. Like this, boom, 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 boom. And then we just add the center vertex like this, and then we just draw lines, or we make triangles to all of the corner points. See if that adds a bit of like volume to the appearance of the block. That's the idea. So let's go. Let's run with this. I will save this to the desktop. We've got all kinds of ideas here. So hollow column cap idea. No cap. We could keep this open to the side, but I don't think we really need this. One thing to note is that in the engine we've got this quad, like this top quad defined as 4 different vertices. So let's call them, it's rotated, it's offset, it's like a diamond shape instead of a square. But most of these are called left top, left bottom. Then we've got the right bottom and right top. So you'll see these names, these vertex names pop up in the code base like everywhere. LT, LB, RB, RT. So one thing to keep in mind, those are the corner points of a quad. And the trick that I want to be using for this is to interpolate between these. So we're going to interpolate LT to RB to get, let me use a color here, blue. So we're going to interpolate to get to these points, like this one and this one. That's an interpolation between LT and RB. And then we have to interpolate LB to RT for these 2 points. And then we're going to make one MM vertex. This one would be called MM, middle of the block. And we draw lines to that. You will see in a few moments or in a few hours when we actually get to coding that part. We want to make the code as generic as possible because this is going to be used for both the column blocks, which are vertically oriented, as well as girder blocks, which in 3D profile are like seen from the side. So let's draw those. Draw an example of a girder block. It sort of looks like this. You get the idea. It's just a horizontal version of the column block. So let me update the drawing, save it again. And here we go. We're opening up the column block mesher. I already showed you the general idea of this in the last stream. Column block mesher, and maybe we can open it up in the side view here as well. Client, game, graphic, geometry rendering, that's it. Cell meshing, cell meshers, column block mesher. There we go, that's the file that we're working in. We will also tweak the girder block mesher, which is an extension of the column block mesher. Measure. And instead of angle, we want to use the assistant here. So let me get rid of that sidebar. The method that we will tweak initially is going to be add vertical face. This is the method, the function that takes care of handling geometry creation for the caps of the column. And here in the main mesh function, you can see that we sort of calculate the visibility, the placement, if it's a column, if it's a girder, and eventually we end up in the add method over here, which creates the vertices. And this one checks if the faces are visible, left face, right, back face, right, front face. And here we have the top face and bottom face. And those both call out to add vertical face with the material, the coordinate, neighbors, the location of the decal, if any is applied to it, decal data, and the offsets. And here you have the LT, FT, RT, BT. So this is probably left top, front top, right top, back top. Yeah, because it's a diamond, so we don't have LT, LB, RB, RT, but we've got left, right, front, and back. Sounds doable. So if we are going to interpolate, we're going to interpolate LT to FT to BT, so front to back and left to right. This makes our job a lot easier. Are those offsets called the same in this function as well? No, this converts it to LT, LB, RB, RT. Don't worry about it. We're going to open up add vertical face, this one. And right now, let's just get rid of the assistant view here. Right now, the only thing that this feature, this method does is create 4 vertices for the top or the bottom face. And then it sets up the normal map orientation. It flips it if it's on the bottom side. And then it adds a face, a quad. So if we remove this function call, if we don't add the face, the columns will be hollow.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
This is just to show you what that looks like. So now we don't have a cap on the columns. So we are in the correct place. We want to tweak this and we want to add the middle vertex for this. And then see if the 3D effect looks good at all. We might have to replace our texture because we did a very exaggerated ambient occlusion effect on it. But all in due time, So instead of create vertices and add a vertical face, we're going to do a bit more. We will leave this commented out. So we have to create the middle vertex. And how do we do that? Maybe we can just, for now, duplicate one. Because create vertical vertex does all kinds of cool stuff here. Set up vertex position. We're gonna hack this. We're gonna make a very quick dirty hack of this. We will get the, let's see, vertex the middle vertex. We are going to interpolate the LT and the LB. I think those are the correct coordinates, right? Wrong image. This one. LT to RB. Yeah, that's the interpolation that we want to do to get the middle. So let's copy the LT vertex and then we set up the position. So vertex dot position, model vertex position is the left model vertex, left top model vertex position plus the vertex right bottom. Привет, Rogi. Model vertex position. And then we divide that by 2. Divide by 2. So we'll now have the center top vertex of the block. We need to copy that over to the original position. Is vertex model vertex position. And then we want to push this one down a little bit. So we're only going to do the top face right here. It's going to look horrible for the bottom faces, but that doesn't really matter. We'll just say vertex model vertex position dot z minus is decimal half. I do think that these work in the regular coordinate system. We might have to multiply by a medium resolution factor, but that's not a problem. So let's say this is interpolate a center vertex for the column. We're still working on the bamboo, but we're now working on the geometry. We're going to make the bamboo look good, Roji. So that's what you can expect. We haven't set up texture coordinates for this just yet, so maybe we also have to do that. So vertex dot model vertex texture coordinate x is, do we have material get texture coordinate set additional this render chunk get material texture style dot assign x. Do we have assign center? Assign x. Yeah, let's just use x. Open 5f. Apparently this method works on a model vertex, so we need to call it like this. And we can extract this texture coordinate set. TC set is material get texture coordinate set additional. Now we say TC set assign that. And you're getting mad because this returns a texture coordinate set. Okay. Why are you mad, bro? A non-const L value reference to type. Oh, it's a const. Or what? Const. It's been a while. No problem. TC set assign y 0.5f vertex model vertex. We've created a center vertex, we set up its position, we set up its texture coordinate, and now we have to create the triangles. So if we take a look at the picture, we basically have to make 4, like if we have this situation, we have to create 4 triangles. I think it should be as easy as this. Render chunk, add triangle. With the material style of good question. This render chunk get material style? Nope. How do we do this? Add face. Where's add face? Is face visible? Add face. Get or create side. Oh, material get material style. We can do this. And then we start at LT. We need to make sure the winding is correct. So we start at LB, then we go to MM, and then we go to LT. Let's fire it up, see if we get at least one face pointing inwards.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
Yeah, we have at least one face pointing inwards like this. So we did something correctly. The next one is going to be RB to LB. Then we just rotate around the entire thing. RT to RB. And then we have LT finally connecting to RT. There's a sort of symmetry popping up here.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
No time to waste, let's go. So we should have a hollow center now to the block. There we go. Question is, of course, it looks like a trash can of sorts. The edge of the top rim of the top cap is a bit too small. It's like very close together here. But it's hollow, and that's the effect that we wanted to create. And now the question becomes, does the lighting on this look good? If we kind of ignore the fact that the ambient occlusion is totally weird. Like in a way, you can already see that there is actually shadow falling into the side, into the block. So it does look like a hollow block, which is the look we were going for. It's not aesthetically perfect because we want the rim to be slightly thicker than that. But it's a start, it's a start. One idea is to remove the texture to see what that looks like. And another idea is that we could try to make the normals more smooth, so it has a more round appearance. But I'm not sure. There should be an option for this. Vertex mm.model vertex.normal map coordinate, normal map orientation, preload factor. There should be some kind of setting to this vertex that says this one is supposed to be smoothed. There's the concept of a smoothing set. Maybe it's part of the add triangle feature. No, it isn't. Vertex normal, process normal. Yeah. How does this know how to smooth? Oh, the vertex normal. Smoother inside, outside. Okay, let's make them all inside then. Vertex dot model vertex. Oh, maybe we can just make the normal of this point upwards. Maybe that's the idea. The normal points upwards because it just does. Normal decimal by 3. Normal. Normalize. There should be a normal vector from. It's been a while since I worked in this code base, so forgive me for not getting this absolutely right. Maybe we can just create one ourselves. And then decimal byte max, which should be 255. Int 8 max. Okay, it's all good. See if we get a better lighting effect on it now.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
It's not a big difference. It's not a huge difference. In fact, I see no difference. Let's remove those lamps for a bit. Here we go. But if you close your eyes and pretend that this is a hollow cylinder, a hollow column, the effect is much better. Like, there is more depth to it. So that's good. That's good. The texture is a bit exaggerated maybe, but it's good. We're going in the right direction here. Now we just need to make sure that we get the edge worked in there. See, there's a little bit of specularity still falling into this block. I can dig it. I can dig it. Right. So now the next question is, do we first make the rim to this? I think we can do that. And we also need to make sure that we have directionality to the middle vertex, because if I place a column in the air, the bottom is going to stick out. At least that's my presumption here. Yeah, the bottom will just stick out like this, so we need to make the bottom go upwards as well. All right. How do we do that? So instead of piggybacking off of the existing vertices, maybe just create a new one. Let's see if we can get a vertex position. Vector from center off, subtract position z minus its decimal half, cubic base position. I think this is exactly what we want, the vector from the center off. So let's just use that for vertex forget about this normal. The normal will be auto-calculated. So vertex model vertex position is going to be the center of the coordinate. Then we copy it to the original position.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Good. So it still works for the top face. That's good. And does it work for the bottom face? Yes, bottom face is also pointing inwards. So again, you get a bit of additional shading on this, and I can dig it. I like this more than the look we had before. Of course, we still need to add the rim to it, but we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We do need to keep in mind that we have to add the decal still. So this add face call is still necessary, or we need to sort of replace it with a different call. But we can do it for the rim faces. It's gonna work. So we should not forget to implement this. Let's highlight it here by adding a bit of white space. Alrighty then. So interpolate center vertex, create. It's just directly creating this. Oops. Create center vertex for column. Also, we need to distinguish between non-hollow and hollow columns. So create vertices. That's good. Add. And then the question becomes, where do we decide if we add a vertical face or if we add the other face? Don't worry, let's keep it like this, because we have to worry about the girder case later on as well. We have center vertex, that's good. We set up the texture coordinates, so we can just do it like this. And instead of TC set, we can call this TCS, texture coordinates. Add center triangles. Add hollow center triangles, that's good. And now we need to sort of create the rim for this. And do we do that before the center? I think so. It's more logical to think of creating the rim first. Okay, so create cap, rim, faces, vertices. And let's open it up in Photoshop and see what we would call these. Come up with some good names. So we've got LTRB, we've got this naming set, so LT, LB, RB, RT. And we could call them inner, like LTI, inner, or 2, or R, rim. Hey, Alexi. Because again, this one's going to be called LT. This is RB on the opposite end, RB. We've got LB over here. And we've got RT over here. Well, so what are good names for this? Inner LT, LTI, ILT, rim LT, RLT, LT2, altitude. There are two hard problems in computer science. Naming things and something else, and the rest. LT2. I think I is a good name. It stands for inner and interpolated. So let's go with LT and then I. That's good. So we create 4 vertices, and this is going to be a little bit involved, as I always say. So we copy over, we've got vertex LTI interpolated. We copy it over from vertex LT. And now we need to do some tricks, because we want this code to be generalized. It needs to work for girders and for columns. We just interpolate this a certain distance, and I've already got in mind like how much we will interpolate. So let's draw the texture as a square, and this is the inner portion. So what I want is this is going to be 1, this is going to be 5, and this is going to be 1. Because I think we can divide by 7. So if we take 480, our texture size is 224 divided by 7. Yeah, that's 32. So This would also then work for the old-fashioned visual style if we would ever like decide to copy there. So we need to divide the texture coordinates by 7 and the position as well, and then we use like 1 unit for the rim and 5 units for the center portion. So in texture size is going to be 160 in the middle, 160, and then 32 on the sides. And this should add up to 244 is 224. That's going to be our texture division. So we will do a square center. It's not going to be rounded, like, sorry for the bamboo stick, but the other blocks, the bricks and the metal pipes, they can be squarish. So let's not worry about this too much. So we need to define that factor somewhere, but we can hard code it first. So let's create a copy. Let's create this vertex first. So this is going to be LTI interpolated. And we do the same sort of trick that we did with the center vertex. So let's say vertex LTI dot model vertex position is its original position. So that's vertex LT, model vertex position, add vertex RB, the opposite one, model vertex position. Oh, we can just use interpolation, direct interpolation. Interpolate to vertex RT, model vertex position, and by a factor of 1/7. So that line takes care of moving this vertex over there, because we work in a diagonal, in a straight line, and this is going to work in a horizontal case as well. So that's gonna work. Then we need to update its original position, model vertex original position. Sorry, original position is vertex LTI, model vertex position. And we also need to update the texture coordinate, which is interesting in and of itself, because we sort of need to interpolate that instead of setting it directly. And I'm not sure if we have the method for that, because the texture coordinate is two separate, like the x and the y coordinate. It's not a vector that we can interpolate directly. So is there a smarter way of doing this? Supposedly there is, but because we also flipped the z, like every column z, we flip the texture coordinates so that they sort of like are symmetrical. So I think it's probably really a matter of just interpolating them by hand at the moment. Vertex LTI, model vertex, texture coordinate x is good one, good start, good start. But how how do we do it now? How do you like those apples? Nice. I definitely didn't think this one through. Maybe we'll do the positions first. Let's get the geometry first, and then we add the texture coordinates on top of that. Let's do one thing at a time. So this means that our center is now going to use LTI instead of LT. And we can already like see if our math is correct. So let's take a look at the top of the
no time to waste, let's go.
The bamboo stick now. So let's place one closer by so we don't have to walk that much. Yeah, see this one is now moved to the center a bit. So this is going to be, let me pixel zoom here a bit. So with my pointy stick, this is LTI now, and it's not LT anymore. Oh, it's not LT anymore over here. So we moved it inwards a little bit, so we can sort of like get a feel for how large the inner hole is going to be. So let's make 4 of these. And then we can decide if the shape is to our liking. So we will also make an LBI. And LBI is going to interpolate LB to RT. And we probably should actually make it LBI, LB. And then we use LBI down here for 2 faces. And now one side of the block should already be moved inwards.
No time to waste, let's go.
There you go. We repeat that process 2 more times, and then we have all of the vertices for the top rim. Then we can also add the rim, so looking good. RB. RB is interpolated from is to LT, so that's sort of the opposite. And we can keep this factor the same. So I thought that we were going to have to use 6 out of 7, but we don't need to. We don't even need to update that, because we just interpolate to the right, to the left, and this is going to work for girders equally well. We do need to make sure that we have the correct names listed everywhere. No copy and paste errors. Alright, and I think we can just blindly do RT here as well. So let's make a copy called RTI for the inner vertices. RTI, vertex RT is going to interpolate to LB. LB, it goes to RT, yeah, that's good. And then we set this to RTI. Now we have all our inner vertices. Boom.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
There we go. The center portion is now smaller, so we do have room for the rim now, but we do have to still add the faces for the rim. But this is the general layout of the block. So one thing that we could decide is that we don't want to make it 151, but we could also go for a much smaller inner portion even. So suppose we do it like this. And go for a 2, 3, 2, which still adds up to 7. So we could make the hole smaller, and then we can just change this factor. And see what that looks like.
Oh, no time to
Maybe
waste,
that's
let's
the
go.
way to go. Oh, that's a bit too narrow for my tastes. Like if we are going to make them appear hollow, I think it makes more sense to go with a larger hole. Like really show off the fact that we now have got hollow geometry for this. On the other hand, the effect might be more convincing this way. Let's take a look at their textures. Like, what sort of layout do they generally use? Artwork production, cartoon. We know we have bamboo stick. This one. Like we're investing a lot of time here, so let's make sure that we invested in the right thing. So it should be 160, 160. Except for the fact that this artboard is totally wacko, so that's not gonna work. Maybe if you open up the PNG like this, boom. Of course it opens on a different display. Why wouldn't it? There we go. 160, 160. Sort of approaches the general size of it. Otherwise it would be 96 by 96. And that's definitely a bit too small. So if we add 32 to this, we get 128. That's sort of the value that we want, but it would be half a pixel in old-fashioned style. Next texture, brick chimney. What does that look like? Bricks. Chimney. Again, opening up on the wrong side of town. 160, 160. Yeah, 160 is definitely slightly larger than most textures expect. 69 is a little bit smaller than most textures expect. So they want to be 128, 128. Okay, here's what we do. Here's what we do. We let old fashion fight for itself later on. Let's just then act as if we move 1/4 into the texture. Sort of. Like 128 divided by 224 is 60%. Like, okay. How many pixels are on the edge? 224 minus 128 divided by 2. 48 pixels, okay. And that's about 21% in. Like we can use a factor of like 0.2f here. And kind of match the brick columns and the... See what that looks like, what that feels like. It's more a matter of feeling than...
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
Okay. It's very workable. If we ever like want to force the old-fashioned visual style on this, we could always tweak our engine for that. So say if like, hey, if it's old-fashioned style, we just move the rim over a bit to accommodate the actual pixels. Maybe let's not worry about that at the moment. Okay, so let's make the rim faces. Don't worry about the texture coordinates just yet. We should probably extract this factor, so let's call this AD column cap rim width factor, rim factor. Rim factor. Hey Anonymous, this looks hard. Is it Java? No, it's a C++. But it doesn't really matter. Like we have the entire engine already up and running. We just use the API of the engine, so the programming language doesn't really even matter here. But we are deep in some geometry code. So let's define AD column rim factor to be 0.2f here. See, we should still compile, but now we have an easy way of like changing the rim size. The goal for today, Anonymous, is to make some blocks, some of the column blocks in the game have a hollow cap. So we are going for this setup where we have a sort of hourglass shape. But some column blocks like a chimney or a bamboo stick, they need to have sort of like hollowness to them. And we used the texture before and it looked somewhat convincing, but this is going to be a bit better. So this is the hollow center triangle part. Let's add the rim. Create a rim quads. This a render chunk. Can we just use add face here? Add face. Okay, we need to do one add face eventually, I believe, because we want to add the decals as well. What does add face do? What does it even do? A lot of stuff. And also tessellates the quad, okay. We'll handle that later on. Good luck. Does it need math? A lot. It's a lot of math. Don't worry about it. You saw the drawing. The drawing itself is only math. It's just math at all. Let's forget about add face. We'll just do this manually. This render chunk, add quad. Hey, don't worry, Wendy. Don't worry about it. You're welcome anytime to join us. You don't have to be here. It's just for fun. We're coding up the new geometry for the engine, so feel free to hang around if you want. But you don't have to apologize if you like if you're here or if you're late. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The material style, we already have that covered, so let's extract that to a variable here, const material style. Material style is material get style. Saves us a few characters everywhere. Boop. Style. Style. Material style. Boom. Material style. Okay, so how do we create these faces? They need to be correctly winded. So LB, LBI, LTI, LT. LB, LBI, LTI, LT. And you are mad because, oh, I need to add vertex in front of it. What's new? What isn't? What is not new? This one is rotated. RB, RB, RBI, LBI, LB. And then this one is rotated from RT, RTI, RBI, RB. And then the last one is rotated from LTI, so LT, LTI, RTI, RT. It's all symmetrical. Yeah, we have to hard code all of this stuff. Don't worry about it. See, there we go. We've got a very nice bamboo stick. We need to make sure the texture wraps nicely. As you can see, there's a few artifacts going on here because the texture coordinates are the same, and apparently NVIDIA gets mad. And you can definitely tell that this is a better effect of doing a hollow column. Like, it's better than the texture faking effect that we had before. So definitely a fan of this. If we place a brick chimney. Yeah, that looks like a brick chimney. It doesn't have a texture associated with it just yet, but that's way better of a brick chimney than we had before. There we go, there we go. And again, we can tweak the rim size, so we now have actual geometry to test with. So if we say that we still want to go with 1 pixel out of 7, we would do it like this. Like this would match the old-fashioned style, and then have a 1 pixel rim. Which isn't too bad. I mean, do we want to exaggerate the fact that it's hollow, or do we want to exaggerate the fact that it's aligned with a pixel boundary? Also, we could go with 2 out of 7.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
Yeah, this is a bit too tight for my tastes. So I definitely want to go back to 1/5, 3/5, and 1/5.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
No, it's not even that. It is that. Huh? We made it 128 out of... Yeah, okay, we sort of... like, it should be 1 like this, but well, anyway, we're going to use 0.2, so if we have to work in pixels, that's 2 to 4 times 0.2. Okay, we do actually want to make this a bit more correct. 128, 2 to 4 divided by 2. And then we have to minus this plus a half. Very convoluted way of getting to 0.21428. Do you need to restart the game every time to update it? Yes, for this code we do have to restart the game. Because this is actual game code, this is compiled into the binary. This is for the code that we're writing today. So today we're doing code. So it's not textures, but we're doing code. And you have to restart the game to see those changes, yes. Okay, we're sort of going to round it down to 2143 there.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's
It's
go.
just a very subtle difference with the other one. So now we have a 1 to 8 pixel gap. If we're doing textures, we can just reload the texture files. I mean, that's graphical assets, but this is actual code that's generating the geometry, so that has to recompile. It's not an interpreted language, and it's just the way it is. So see, it looks pretty much like a hollow bamboo stick from the top. I'm really trying to sell the effect here. But this looks like a chimney, and this looks like a bamboo stick. If we sort of forget the ambient occlusion trick that we were doing. It's just much better. It's a much better bamboo stick. Takes a bit of extra vertices. Like it will not render as efficiently, but that's good. Okay, so now for the texture coordinates. And we should probably also check this on the girders. But one step at a time. Let's not get sidetracked. Also, this code could probably be generalized a bit more. But first, texture coordinates. The edges, like the side vertices, like these texture coordinates are already correct. LB, RB, we don't have to worry about these. But now we need to make sure that we interpolate on the same axis. Do we create a helper function for this? Because it definitely sounds like we want a helper function for this. And what would that look like? Add vertical face, create vertical vertex. We are working in add vertical face here. So we could make another method here. And it should be a... Does it need to be static? It can be static. Private. Static void. No, static model vertex extended. Interpolate position. Let's just call it interpolate vertices. And then you pass in two vertices and you get an interpolated version out of it. So we get a model vertex extended vertex 1. Model vertex extended vertex 2 const. Okay, so then we can just say model vertex extended LTI is interpolate vertices vertex LT vertex RB. Much cleaner code. Once it works, because we have to make it work first. So we're going to replace this entire bit with 4 calls to interpolate vertices. Maybe we call it create interpolated vertex. Sounds a bit more apt to what it does. So let's get rid of that. And then we have to actually implement it. Model vertex extended, column block measure, create interpolated vertex. It takes 2 vertices. There we go. Now we can copy this over. So interpolate vertex position. We call this one interpolated. Interpolated, we copy over vertex 1. And then we say vertex 1, interpolated model vertex position is vertex 1 position, interpolate to vertex 2 position, to that rim factor, okay? This sort of leads me to believe that we want to make we want to add another argument here. We need to have a float, const float. How do we call it in the vector class? Interpolate to factor. Okay, very generic, but we can reuse it, so that we can also use this same feature or this same function for the center vertex later on. So now we'll have 3 arguments: vertex 1, vertex 2, and a factor. So then this becomes factor, and we have to supply that when actually interpolating. So column rim factor. That's what I like. That's what I like. Okay, and then we're done. Turn interpolated. Now we need to interpolate the texture coordinates here. So let's see how we do that. Interpolate texture coordinates. We need to do the x and the y. So it's going to be super simple in the sense that we do have scalar interpolator .cpp, and what does that do? Interpolation method, set target has changed, is idle, for sort of get interpolation. There we go. We need to copy this. Logic. And we need to apply it twice. It's not going to be super pretty, but it's what it is. Interpolated dot model vertex texture coordinate x. Which cannot work because we also have to interpolate material map, normal map. Okay. Any more bright ideas? It's totally dumb because we assign, like we do this flipping. Then we just have to do it 6 times. I can live with this. And let's start with the material map coordinate x. And then we add the delta. Okay, we get new AI. We'll find a girl for you. I'm happy. I'm really happy. At least with the comments and the good names of variables, the code looks clear. It's what I tried to do. It's what I tried to do. Well, I'm real happy for you, but sorry, I don't need AI to find a girl for me. You're blocked. We don't need AI for that, but thank you for your kindness. Will this work? Is this what I want? And then repeat this 6 times. So model vertex material map coordinate I, y. I think I did it correctly. It's just a bit of a... We don't have a nice convenience method for this. If we run into more of these situations, then it might be wise to add something for this. If this just works first try, I can live with having this bit of a weird interpolation method in here. We should definitely check with a artificial texture to see if we map it correctly. We're done. Okay, we are done. Now we replace all of these calls. So we want to have an LBI. LBI is a interpolation from LB to RT. Okay. Then we have RBI is the interpolation from RB, which is logical, to LT, yeah, opposite side. And then we have RTI, which is RT to LB. And then we can remove all of this junk. Looks a lot cleaner.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's
But
go.
does it work? It works, because you can see the circular hole that we cut out of this texture. You can see it all pop up already. So that's definitely a trick or an effect that we're gonna add. The sort of rounded rim. Maybe we do want to keep the ambient occlusion being like super fire, super lit, or maybe we don't. But this is the code. This is it. So this is a geometry done. We still need to keep in mind that we have the decals that we still need to add, and we need to make sure that this works for girders too. See, our our lanterns, they are now also hollow. Let me see if I can get in there. See, the lanterns are hollow. I'm not sure if the bottom side is hollow. Yeah, bottom side is also hollow. So every column block that we have in the game is now hollow. Wow. Exactly what we wanted. Which means that the flower pots like this... Oh, that's gonna be an interesting design aesthetic that you suddenly get. The flower pots now also have a hollow interior. Is that desired? I hope so. Here, the entire village, like every block, is now hollow. That's good. We're gonna write some code for that later on, so that we can distinguish between blocks that should have the effect and blocks that should not have the effect. So now we're gonna tweak the texture a little bit. Also, do we want to interpolate the MM? I think this code is always correct, just having the center assigned to the material coordinates. I think there's no way that that is ever incorrect. So let's keep that like that for now. So now we tweak the texture a little bit, a wee bit. We can close the calculator. We can close Photoshop, because I don't think we'll need a lot of math from here on out. And we can just start tweaking our texture, which is an artwork production, PBR, blocks, a bamboo, stick. Yeah, the displacement, that's where we start. So instead of having this center be, like the hollow portion be round, we now need to make it square. Which is easier said than done, I think. And we decided that this should be 128, 128 pixels. I actually don't mind this. I don't mind this, what it looks like, because we don't have a, we don't have a diamond shape or a rectangular gradient, so maybe this is just the way that it is. And can we copy over the look? I want to have the outer glow in there as well. Can I drag it over? Does this have outer glow? No? Graphic styles. A new one. Apply it. There we go. Are we happy? Are we happy now? Not yet, not yet. This inner glow is 123, 16 pixels. and this outer glow is 6.6, 16 pixels. Somehow it doesn't feel very solid or equal. So let's just chop a bit out of this. We just minus front this. There we go. So we get the equal sized rim on all sides. And then we make the hollow portion. Same ID. Oh, other layer. 128, 128 in the center. And then we apply the graphic style that we just created. Like that. Except we don't want to have the outer glow anymore. So maybe we can just throw it in the trash. We don't need this anymore. Does this look realistic? No, it doesn't. Because somehow this outer gradient value is a bit too light. So let's go with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. This is our bamboo stick. Very good. Save the displacement, bamboo stick. We're back in the workflow from the previous live streams. Guess we're back. It looks like this, which is absolutely fine with me. We do the normal map smoothing. Save it as the bamboo stick additional normal. Boom. Ambient occlusion looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe we do want to add fake ambient occlusion to this. It's a matter of taste. Bamboo stick additional PVR AO. Yep. Then we have to tweak this one because right now it's got like this shape in there, which is not what we want. We want to have a square now. So let's draw a 128, 128 pixel square. It has the gradient in there, so maybe we're already done here. We can use this. It's a gradient from 255 to 64. Is this realistic? Do we want to raise it a little bit now that we have a more proper way of doing this? 128. That's good. You know what? Let's just forget about that ambient occlusion faking thing. We remove the fakey thing. Boom. Let's just have a regular ambient occlusion. And this is going to be material, yes. Publish it, and then we just convert it. Documents, Angeldust, Angeldust, artwork, textures, PBR, game world, regular, TIFF. Just like that.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
See, now the rim has got this normal map associated with it, and it looks a bit like rounded, which is nice. We don't have like super sharp ambient occlusion inside of the bamboo stick anymore. That's just the way it goes, and I don't really mind it. It's good enough for me. The effect that you get like this. It's shadowed, it's dark. Well, if it's in the shadow, okay, admittedly it might be a bit darker. So maybe we should add a little bit of a fake effect in there. Let's try it. We already went over this last time, but hey, why do things once when you can do them twice? 96, 96. Gradient. radial switcheroo. And I sort of don't want to go overboard with this, so let's do it subtly first. 128, 128, 128. Just a bit of subtle ambient occlusion that we added ourselves. Nearing the end of this one. Yeah, Crunchy, maybe you've already seen. Let me concentrate just for one bit. Last time we had this, you called it the Lego shape, the Lego thing. Right now I've already changed the engine so that we have actually hollow bamboo sticks, see? And even a hollow chimney like this. And in fact, all of the column blocks are now hollow, so we need to distinguish between those in the future. See, now they're actually hollow. Okay, so I added a bit of ambient occlusion here, which looks good. I like the circular look, the circular shape that it has, but it can be a bit more pronounced. Can be a bit more pronounced. You so smart. Yeah, so it looked a bit fake earlier, Crunchy. So I went all out, and now we just updated the geometry. So they're actually hollow. It's what we wanted, didn't we? Let's see if we can make this less subtle. 32, 32, 32. Boom. Again, the sort of whiter transparent portions that you see here, that's where the light does not touch. So we're tweaking the look of the darker bamboo stick. But basically the idea is now done. Okay, so yeah, it looks darker inside. Now let's wait for the shadow to come in. Wait for the shadows. That's pretty decent. That's pretty good. Now you could say, hey, is it maybe a bit too dark in there? Is it a bit too sharp of a gradient? A bit too sharp of an effect? I don't think so. It's subtle, it's there. It's pretty good. Pretty good. One thing we could try is to make it match the shape of the thing. So that would mean that we go into transparency here. And how do we do this? How do we make an unsupported gradient sort of? I'll tell you what, we'll create a 128, 128 pixel square, just like we had before. And then instead of it being a linear gradient, we just make it white or black? White. And then we use the mesh tool with a black color. And we add a point in the center. Let's see if it does this, and then we make the center point black. It still looks like, it still very much looks like a, whatchamacallit, it still very much looks like a circle to me. So maybe one more time, 128, 128. Maybe we use the, what is that one called? The one that sort of blends shapes. So we make a much smaller square in the center, like this, which we make 64, 64, 64. And then we do the, what is it called? It's not mesh, perspective, column, blend tool. Okay, we blend this outside thing into the inner thing. And now something tells me that the colors are the wrong way around. Yeah, that's better. We do get some extra ambient occlusion in the edges, in the sides. And we do sort of get this diamond shaped gradient. Here, that's what it looks like. Wow. I can already see this being the perfect occlusion map. There's definitely a different feel to creating textures
No time to waste.
compared
Let's go.
to writing code. Okay, still good. But now, what does it look like in the shadow? Here we go. Wow. Wowie. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm not super entirely convinced just yet. But it is pretty good. It's a pretty good start. Let's keep it like this. Let's keep it like this. I think it's mathematically correct. The aesthetics are pretty good. So let's not mess with this.
No time to waste. Let's go.
Let's not mess with this. I think we can justify it being like this. And they look like bamboo sticks now. It's much better. I like the look. There's definitely like darkening going on in the center there. You can definitely, because of the roundedness to the sides, you can definitely get a feel for the size of the rim, even from this sharp angle. Looking inside, you might say, hey, it needs to be a bit darker, but I think that's not realistic, because instead of them being like super hollow, they are only fake hollow. Yeah, this is the thing, fake hollow. From this angle, I think everything looks so good. Let's not change it anymore. Texture is good, the geometry is good. Now we need to test the girders. So and we need to make sure that the decals work.
No time to waste. Let's go.
Let's get a bamboo girder installed. This one uses the old method of rendering. Place a lamp while in the shadow. That's a good one. We can check that. So there's definitely, this one doesn't feel as hollow as this one. Do you agree with me, Crunchy? This one is definitely more hollow than this one. This one uses the fake effect that we had last time. And this one is now correctly rendering as a hollow thing. Okay, here we are in the shadow. From above. Decent, or what? You can see the light falling in on this side. And here it's sort of near the top. Don't know if that works like super perfectly. If I remove the lamp, dark. Dark. Wowie. Good stuff, good stuff. There's definitely a nice side profile to this now. See, the top rim is now definitely divided into the rim and into the hollow center portion. That's good, that's nice. And now we want to get this girder to do the same thing, basically. And also, let's get a girder, a wooden frame. We need to make sure that those frames render correctly too, so. Bamboo stick here, bamboo stick, bamboo stick here, bamboo stick here, boom, boom. Wooden frame. One on top of this one, doesn't show up. One on below that one doesn't show up either. So we have a problem, in the sense that we need to fix that. And then we have girders. Bamboo stick girder. This way, sure. Let's get one of those wooden frames, stick it on this side. Okay, that one shows up. That one shows up, and now we need to add one more bamboo stick. On this side, boom. And one on this side. Okay, so the old rendering code does take the decals into account. The new rendering code just doesn't just yet. But we'll fix that. We'll get that fixed. But anyway, I like the look of things. I like the hollowness to it. What do we first want to do? We first want to get the decals working, I believe. So that's a matter of just calling the decal squad, the decal thing just once. Render decal if available. If we have decal data, we get the decal ID. That's good. Orientation. This should already work. Boom, let's go.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
So we now should have the wooden frame on top of the hollow stick. Yes, and at the bottom of the hollow stick. Nice. That's good. That's good. And then again, for demonstrational purposes, we can make one more bamboo stick. And then we can stick a cactus on top of it. See, we get a hollow thing. So, okay. Maybe we write some custom code that if this is a hollow block, the cactus goes in there. Because right now it looks a bit silly. So we could make it so that the cactus like descends into the plant pot. Might be a nice trick. Because right now it's a bit it's a bit mellow. It's a bit mellow like that. So something to consider for the future. It will change the look of the game a little bit because some of the builds have these plant pots. For instance, these as well. These use copper pipes. So yeah, definitely a pipe will be one of the blocks that will be hollow. So maybe we do want the bush then to sort of sink into the block. Might be a nice change. But let's see if this also works for our girder blocks now. So let's open up the girder block mesher. Boom. And we need to see, like, should add cap for, add cap. Now I hope that girder block mesher, okay, it doesn't. It doesn't extend the column block mesher. So now what do we do? Does this use column block mesher anywhere? Column block. No, it's fully customized. But we want to reuse this way of making a cap. So instead of let's already add another method for this then. And it's going to have to be public static void add hollow how do we factor this? Because do we want to have add vertical face decide if it needs to be a hollow face or a full face? I think that's the most logical place to do it. But then girder block mesher, so let's see what girder block mesher has. Add cap, so maybe add cap needs to be extended. And both Crunchy, you want some girls? There's someone wants to get your attention. There you go. I hope you enjoy. It's always the best time when we get chatters like that. It's a wonder that we didn't get those on the earlier live streams. Should add cap for. It's all good. That was weird. It was weird. Let me think here. I need to think for a while. We could introduce a new file to take care of this. We could use column block mesher or we could use girder block mesher. I think it makes more sense to have it in the column block, which is sort of the OG block that we have. I think that makes more sense. But it needs to be a static method. Add hollow cap. It's not really a cap because it's hollow. But we need to give it a name. Add hollow cap. No cap. Oh, the column block measure delegates to girder block measure. That's interesting. So we could also add it to the girder block measure then, which might be a better idea. Let's yoink all of this out of here and move it into girder block measure. Because this already has got a public... Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. The column block measure, crunchy more. Column block measure, we already have a reference to that, so private Oops, something went wrong. Crunchy, can you type a single message? See if the chat still works, because it says something went wrong. Try reloading the page, but I'm not sure if I want to reload. I can reload. Wait, I will reload. Here we go. Add cap, add quad. Okay, and then we just extend this to have a public appearance saying void add hollow cap, which takes a few arguments. I'm not sure exactly if we copied any arguments over just yet. No. It basically wants to have these arguments, parameters, whatever you might call them. Add cap takes a material, a coordinate, neighbors, decal orientation, cell data, and then 4 vertices. I think that's the interface that we want to have here. So we don't work with these offsets anymore. That's good, add hollow cap. And then we also copy the interpolation method. This one, which is going to be private, static void, which means that we can move it into this section. Can snap the should add cap for create interpolated vertex. Okay, there we go. That looks good. Then we move back to the column block and we just remove the hollow cap and thing. So let's take a look at what our div looks like. Okay, we don't want to look at artwork right now. We don't want to look at code generation. We don't want to look at this stuff. We just want to look at these files. Column block measure. We introduced that factor, that's good, and we have all of this code that we will port over. Girder block, we add the new methods, and we've got this bit of code, which we can remove. Good. It works, Crunchy says. It works. Wow. Thank you, thank you. It took a moment for me to see that message pop up. Okay, we move this over to the girder block now. Which would mean that this file sort of is unchanged in the end. Add quad, and then we have void girder block measure, add hollow cap with all of these arguments. Boom. Yeah. And now we have to remove all of this junk. So how do we easily do this? Using the power of magic. We just cheat a little bit here. LT, LB, RB, RT. And then we rename the argument. AD column rim factor. Oh, we need to copy that over. And then let's call it AD cap, hollow cap rim factor. It's not the best name, but it'll do for now. Good enough for me, good enough for me. And then we rename these arguments. This is vertex 1, vertex 2. See, thanks to the magic of computers, everything changes along. And then we can call this one vertex 1i, vertex 2i, 3i, 1b, di. This is the that's good. 2 to 1, 3 to 2, 4 to 3, 1 to 4. Still good. Do we compile? We don't compile because we don't have the interpolation method copied just yet. So we copy over this boy to this file. Let's see, is the order still correct? Should add cap for create interpolated vertex. Yep. Girder block measure. 1, 2 factor. Interpolated. We're done. Okay. Should compile. It does compile. If we run, we should be back to the regular appearance of everything.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Yeah, so we have the weird cap on the columns. We have the weird cap on the girders. We have decals working for all of them. And now it should be possible to change all of this code out to the new rendering path. And then we can work on defining this on a per block basis. So let's see. We have an add cap method here. Add vertical face. Add face, add vertical face. So basically here we should decide if we want to add a vertical face or a cap thing. There should be an is hollow or something supplied here. Because we either add face, or instead of add face, we would say girder block measure, add hollow cap for the material, coordinate, neighbors, decal orientation, decal data, vertex LT, vertex LB, vertex RB, vertex RT. This should work. So the columns should now again have the hollow caps.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
They do have the hollow caps. They still do have the decals on top and bottom, so that's good. And now the girders should be a one-line change as well, so that we get hollow girders. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. But will it work? I have no idea. Add quad, add cap. Here we go. So instead of doing add quad, like we just commented out, yeah, and then we do add hollow cap. Material, coordinate, neighbors, orientation, and decal data, and then vertex 1, vertex 2, vertex 3, vertex 4. And hopefully this works, otherwise we'll have to invest a bit more time in generalizing the code to work with girders. But hey, I see a hollow girder here, check it out, woo! Delightful, splendid. Splendid. This one looks a bit weird though. I'm not digging the look of it. This one looks good. Ambient occlusion definitely working as intended. And this one looks a bit weird too. So there is a slight... Oh no, it's because the column and the girder interconnect here. So we do get the side of the column block showing up. Okay, it's an interesting effect. It's an interesting effect. So this is what happens. Take a look at it. This is what happens if you have a hollow girder block in a cross formation. You can see one of the other pipes stick out. Is it a problem? No, this is just what it looks like. This is just what it looks like. Everything is okay. Because if you extend them, they will look good. You just don't, like, the cross is always going to look a bit weird. That's all. Crunchy says boom, indeed, boom. See, because these look good. And probably the other end looks good too, yes. And now we take one of them and we make it stick out like that. Oh, we already have that. And on the other side of the wall, it should work as well. It's actually good, yes. Actually good. Wow. The only question that I have is, why is this side lit up? It might be because of the lamp over there. So it might not do like super correct light propagation just yet. But that's a general problem that we can fix in the future. But the girders, like this, looks like more like a bamboo stick. Of course, it's a very thick boy, it's a very chunky bamboo stick. But at least it's hollow. That's good. And if we take a horizontal brick chimney, so this is bricks, check it out. Yeah, that's good, that's good. It just adds a bit more flavor, a bit more detail to the blocks. And it works. That's the most important part. So now we need to make these optional. Because some of the materials want the hollow version and some of them want the capped, like closed version. And that's something that we need to add here. So what is the base thing that we get in here? I think it's a cell type, if I'm not mistaken. And cell type, oh, we get a block. We get a block. And then what do we get? Is cross, oriented along X, material, add cap. Okay, so we have a block. And let's open a block. Blocks.cpp. I'm not sure why that file is in there. Doesn't really matter. Okay, block defines a lot of properties. Do we have something that is relevant to columns? Material, detail, chair, regular texture coordinates. Use chair regular texture coordinates. Okay, I think we can just simply introduce one more property to this base class of block. And we would call it something like open-ended column, hollow cap. Hollow cap sounds good, because the other thing we also use hollow cap. Is hollow the word we want to use? Let's open up a dictionary. Hollow, is there a better word for this? Empty, not solid, unfilled, vacant, hollowed out. Sunken, deep set, concave, depressed, dented, indented, caved in, dull, low, flat, toneless, expressionless, muffled, empty, valueless. Okay, this is not the instance here. This is getting more abstract by the minute. But I think hollow, like hollowed out, that's exactly sort of the terminology that we want to use. So we need to introduce that property here. By the way, let's take a look at our diff so far. How many files we've changed. We can ignore these. So that's 3 files changed. We've got column block mesher, yeah, which does this. That's good. Girder block, in the header file we add the add hollow cap and create interpolated vertex. It's perfect. And here we introduce the rim factor, which is good. We call add hollow cap, we add hollow cap, and we have the create interpolated vertex thing. Okay, very minimal diff, looking good so far. Let's open up the code generation. Let's see if we can add this distinction to the blocks now. One more thing that we could decide to do is to tweak the icons for these blocks, but that's something that we can do much later on. Let's first get the world looking good. Column materials. We don't want to change the materials themselves. Every time I go on YouTube, I'll hop to the stream, on and off. It's good. It's good, Niels. Cells. Interlinked. Block. Here we go. Share regular texture coordinates. So let's make a copy of this. And then we call it hollow cap. No cap. Because I think we called it add hollow cap, right? Add hollow cap, yes. Hollow cap, and then the default value for that is going to be false. So let's copy this property over. Hollow cap. Boolean. Share regular texture coordinates. Let's just call it hollow cap. Use a hollow cap instead of solid for column and girder block faces. Use a hollow cap instead of solid for column and girder block faces. Exactly what we want. Okay, so we don't set a default value for this, which is not a problem because we can set a default value for it in the actual code. So let's add another bool hollow cap and a getter for it as well. Bool use hollow cap const return this hollow cap. There we go, and then we reset it to false. This hollow cap is false. We should be able to build this. It's a bit of a rebuild. It's 670 files because blocks.hpp gets included everywhere. And now we should be able to set hollow cap to true for all of the blocks that should need it. Except we also need to add it to the code generation. So let's see, C++, cell types .cpp is the file, cell type library, cell types.cpp. And now we need to make sure that if we have a block, if it's a block, we also print the Boolean assignment for hollow cap. Like this. Let's open up the code generation. Documents, Angeldust code generation. If we make now, nothing should have changed because none of those hollow caps has been set just yet. Okay, that's good. And now we can set hollow cap for all of the blocks that need it. And we can check those in the game, but we can also just go through them. So let's close the code generation code and let's see artificial column blocks. Sure. Bamboo stick. Bamboo stick has a hollow cap. Set value true. Poison barrel is not going to have a hollow cap. Now you might say it's a barrel, but this one actually has got fluid in it up to the rim, at least or slightly below the rim. That's what we're going to emulate, so it's not going to be hollow. The beanstalk, I don't think that should be hollow. The bricks chimney, that's definitely hollow cap. The sandy bricks chimney, hollow cap. Brick pillar doesn't have it. Cinder blocks column is not hollow. Overgrown is not hollow. Concrete pole, I think that's a solid pole, so it doesn't have it. Marble is also solid. The pipes are hollow. Metal pipe, gold. Metal pipe patina, metal pipe steel, corroded steel is also, because this also introduces a change where we have a metal rod and the rod is actually solid. So that's a nice sort of like subtle nuance that we introduced to the game. Rope brown block, Rope isn't hollow either. Steel isn't either. The steel rope isn't hollow. Ruin stones are not hollow. Tree stump. Tree stump is actually a very nice idea, but no, tree stumps are not hollow. No. Hey, Emilia, how are you doing? Here we have another barrel, the wooden planks barrel water block. We're going to simulate it having a proper cap to it as well, so we don't have to make that hollow. Wooden pole is not hollow, the lantern block is not hollow, and these are not hollow either. So we'll just have a few blocks that are hollow. Make the code generation so that this actually gets stored. We can take a look at the diff in a few moments. See, it's updating the cell types so that the engine will know which block is hollow and which isn't. We close this, close this, close this, close this, close. No, we need to look in generated cell types. So there's 8 blocks that have hollow caps. The bamboo stick, and the next one is bricks chimney, sandy bricks chimney, metal pipe copper, metal pipe gold, metal pipe patina, metal pipe steel, metal pipe corroded. Do we have all the metals in there? Yes. We can compile it, and now we need to trigger different behavior in the column block mesher and in the girder block mesher. So in this mesh function, we know if the block is hollow, and we need to make sure that we know if the block is hollow at vertical face. And I think that's a property that's even coarser than the material. Sort of. So let's introduce a const bool, use hollow cap. Has hollow cap. What did we call it in blocks? Use hollow cap. I think has is a much more has hollow cap. Does that make sense? Has hollow cap. Makes sense, but then I think the other one, use chair regular texture coordinates, should also be has. It's used in 4 places. I think we'll rename it in a future commit. So let's write that down. So use chair whatever's block. I'll do that off stream. It's not really interesting to do it today or right here. Block has chair regular blah blah blah. Has hollow cap. That's good. Column block measure. So now we want to know has hollow cap. That's a new definition of has vertical face. And now we can switch here. So create vertices. That's step 1. Let me get rid of this junk. Create vertices, and we flip the normal map. That's all good. And add cap. If has hollow cap, we do the girder block thing, and we can return them. Otherwise, we just add the regular face. So if you take a look at the diff here, we retain the old line here, but we just introduce this add hollow cap. Add hollow cap if requested. I can live with it. So let's see if this works. Big rebuild. Oh, too few arguments, of course. We need to decide, we need to check here So add needs to know about this. Has hollow cap. Boop. And we need to make sure that it gets passed along. Add vertical face, add vertical face. Has hollow cap. These are commented out because these are for a different code path, but we still update it. Okay, so now we get one more place where we need to add it. Mesh Z. Okay, so this one can know const has hollow cap is static cast. Oh, we already have a block. Block has hollow cap. Const bool. Boom. Fire and forget. Firefly and forget. This is the most invasive change that we do, because we add a new property to the code generation to indicate, to signal which column blocks and which girder blocks do have hollow caps and which do not have it. But we need to do it. It has to be done. And we can now hopefully see the change. Did I build and run, or did I just build?
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Righto. So the chimney has got a hollow cap. The bamboo stick has got a hollow cap. But now we place a non-hollow block next to it. A poison barrel, beanstalk, brick pillar. This is a pillar instead of a chimney. Wow. Nice. Amelie says nice. Yeah, there we go. So we have hollow blocks now, like properly hollow columns. And we've got solid columns. So it's a small difference, but you can definitely tell that it's a different block. These are all still also nicely hollow and stuff. And now we need to make sure that the girder also knows about this. So let's remove this lamp over here. And let's take the girder version of this. So this is the brick chimney. It's hollow. Remove this chunk. Yeah, and then we add a brick pillar. So these are both hollow, and now we need to introduce that same difference, so that this one is hollow and this one is solid. And that's in girder block measure, Remove some of the screens here. We already have add cap here, and we're going to have a const bool has hollow cap. That sounds good, right? In add cap. Add cap. Yes. Add cap face? No. It's not add. Setup texture coordinates. And then add hollow cap if requested. Is that the same phrasing we used here? Add vertical face. Add vertical face. Yeah, add hollow cap if requested. So if has hollow cap, we add a hollow cap. And we can return there even. And then otherwise we add a solid cap. What you built out there are actually have me invested on trying something similar in another life. What? What you built out there actually has me invested in trying something similar in another life. Explain. Is it inspiring enough that in another life you would be a game developer, or what's the deal? What's the dealio? Emilio. Let's see. Now we need to supply that has hollow cap somewhere. Add caps. Yes, add caps. That's what we want. But this one only knows is cross, is oriented along X. Okay, so then we need to add hollow cap. The game itself and the programming for it. Okay, cool. Hey, suppose this is going to be a big if, but suppose the game was open source later on in its like product cycle. Would you then consider writing code for it, like right now in this life. Suppose you only have one life. This is very existential here, but add caps. Okay, that's good. And now we need to make sure we know about it. Constable has hollow caps. Hollow cap. Plural. Yeah, has hollow cap is block has hollow cap const. Thingamajig add has hollow cap is crisscross. There we go. It should work. It's a bit of exciting code that we wrote, but it's going to work, I believe.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Yeah, there we go. The chimney is hollow. Whoop. And the pillar is not hollow. Also, if you feel that everything around me is shaking, it's because it is. The construction workers are back in the street. They are working on the street. They have got these power tools and machines. I would add a hoverboard. Sounds like a nice addition. In a way, the Drakeling already acts as a hoverboard, Crunchy. Boom. So we've got the decals working. We've got the hollow thing working. The columns are hollow. These are not hollow anymore, the overgrown cinder blocks columns. So I think we are pretty good here. I think we did a great job. So what we can do now is review the code diff, see if we see ways to make the code more legible or improve it. Once we've done that, we will commit it to the repository. So we will commit this change and say like, okay, this is what we like, this is what we do. The bamboo sticks definitely look a lot better than they did before, so that's nice. Then we could potentially, if you take a look at the texture files that we have, let's go back to artwork production, cartoon, blocks. Yeah, okay. So we could do one more texture. See if we could make, for instance, the water barrel or the poison barrel, or another block that uses this, maybe the metal pipe. We could like make a start for that and see if we could make a metal pipe that looks good with this new rendering, and then we'll have another texture done, inspired by the code that we wrote today. Amelia adds, I currently started and stopped it because this is something I'm never gonna adventure in alone due to time consuming, but I have thoughts, plans for the future. Oh, there we go. You could also, of course, imagine using an engine like Unity or Unreal, or
no time to waste. Let's
name
go.
another one, name a more iconic duo. You could also use a game engine. You don't have to write the engine from scratch. And then it's a lot less programming, and maybe you can use blueprints even to tie your IDs together. And that way you can make a game more easily than the way that I'm doing it. But of course you will not have a voxel game with a world thing. And Crunchy says, I understand Amelia's time problem. We all understand the time problem, I think. I think most people are aware of the fact that their lives are finite and that you have only 24 hours per day. So the texture doesn't, it's like in half a pixel here, which is exactly what we set up. So if you're in the old-fashioned style, sorry, it's currently a half a pixel border there. But we don't worry about it too much. Okay, so let's see if we can start to commit this this code. Two things that I want to do. I want to shorten the this name, this hollow cap rim factor thing. See if we can shorten it so it fits more code on the screen. Doesn't really help in our case, but it might help in the future. Maybe rim size. No, well, no, we'll keep it at this. We'll keep it at this. Let's not worry about it. I do want to see if we can improve the definition of it though. So instead of having this 0.2143 that no one really knows what it means, we can maybe make it a fraction. So it should be 64. No, it's not 64 divided by that. It's, what is it? 224 minus 128. Yeah. 96 divided by 2, divided by 2 to 4. Not sure if that's going to make it a lot clearer. 2 to 4 minus 1 to 8. But it's the texture size that we use. So hopefully someone will say, ah, I understand what we're trying to do here. 2 to 4 minus divided by 2. Divided by 2 to 4. Like that. Okay. Is this clearer? Not much, Firefly. It's not much clearer. It does work though. And it signals our intent. So I think this is better. I think it's better to phrase it like this. Merely adds, yeah, I did try Unity Engine or Unreal Engine 5 and Unity. But to be completely honest, I am someone who likes to start from scratch. But I have to say that I really like what Unity has to offer and how it offers it. Okay. Unreal Engine 4 is good, but I really like Unreal Engine 5. If you're someone who likes to work from scratch, I will tell you that in your single lifetime you will probably never... this is not a challenge, by the way. It's not a challenge. It's just a word of warning. Like, Unreal Engine has been in development for over 20 years. I think it's 25 years or so, given the release date of the first Unreal. So Unreal Engine has been in development for 25 years by a team of probably tens or hundreds of people. So that's 250 to 2,500 man years of work. So even if you would live to 120, and if you're only 10 years old currently, so that means that you still have 110 years left, you can do the math. So 110 years is already less than the 250 years that already went into Unreal Engine in itself. So you will probably in your lifetime not make a product or a tooling environment equal to Unreal Engine in your single lifetime. So you will have to cut corners somewhere if you want to do everything yourself. It's just a word of warning, a word of advice maybe on planning this out. So use the engine if you like it. It's very well optimized. It's got nanite technology or something to have like very tiny facets, like smaller than pixel triangles that it can render. It's very optimized to the core. Angeldust, the engine is optimized in a different way, and it's not even close to Unreal Engine. But we do have dynamic shadows, and we do have like full control over what's happening. But I think that you can even get source code access to Unreal Engine. So, and there's this requirement that if you make more than $1 million or something, you will have to send them some money. And I think that's entirely reasonable. You get like thousands of man years for free, of work for free. So I think it's definitely doable that you send them some bucks. But if you want to make something from scratch, it's possible. Like other games have also shown that a single dev can make a product that's marketable, that can make money. But you will have to cut corners somewhere. You cannot make something like Unreal Engine from scratch. Let's visit a single wonder, Countworth Devilia, and see if we can find a single instance of hollow columns or hollow girders popping at us. I just want to make sure that it works in the wonders as well.
Now we found the loot and we're happy.
We found the loot and we're happy. Except we're looking for girders and columns. I see tree bark and leaves of green. I see all kinds of stuff. But I see no brick chimneys. Maybe they're on the roof though. Maybe those things on the roof are brick chimneys. Let's help. Oh, we cannot head up here. I had a dragon, didn't I? Shop. Summon a creature. Here we are, flying our way to victory. Hey, it's a corroded steel pipe. Check it out. Corroded steel pipe. And now I'm pretty sure that we run into a bug. Because I'm pretty sure that the smoke doesn't have a bottom face. What happened to your face? Let's keep the sun at daytime. Amelia says, honestly, I wish to join a team one day so that I can adventure more deeply into this. I am more into Blender and 3D model stuff in general as an artist. But I do have knowledge about game development, but more into animation, not everything. Sure, you can always, there's probably many studios looking for people. I do have a word of warning on that as well though. Okay, so we do render the bottom face. Good. I do have another word of warning on that though. Do you want to hear the other word of warning? No, Firefly, don't want to hear it. Okay. It even adapts to the pipe shape, which is a very nice detail. And I like the way that the roofs look. Sure. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna assume that you're relatively young still. Your generation, and probably even like I'm not like super old, but I am probably a bit older than you are. But we grew up in a world where television magic, radio shows, computer entertainment, movies, series, digital entertainment, streaming products, they are commonplace, and they are like magic, and they are like magic. If you watch a high budget, big budget movie production, like hundreds of millions, special effects, big screen, actors, it's like magic, and it is like it's very fun. The industry itself though, and like, should I tell you this? Like, the industry itself mostly runs on people who want to realize their dreams, and they want to be part of that magic. They want to be part of this. It's like the intro to Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, why did I move here? Because of that thing, that magic. You see it in the movies. Like, that's what everyone wants, and you want to be part of it. The problem is that most executives and like most people running these companies know this, and they sort of like burn through a lot of young talent really quickly, because everyone wants to be part of the magic, wants to say like, hey, I worked on this movie, I worked on that game, I did textures for this, I animated that. I want to work at like one of the big tech companies, but it shouldn't be your end goal. Like, go there, do the work, get some experience, see how things work behind the scenes, but don't let these people sort of like burn you out. And this holds for any work, by the way. So enjoy your work. Hopefully you'll do something that is rewarding and fulfilling, but make sure that you mind your mental health, and make sure that you remain sane. So, and Mr. Simpson is, I'm doing some gambling. This doesn't really fit in with the theme here. So the idea is like, try to be part of the magic, but retain a sense of yourself, and don't burn out. Don't make like 80-hour work weeks just because you want to be part of the team, of the product. Because once you've burned out, there are 1,000 other people lining up to do animation, textures, graphics design, video editing, special effects on those same movies. And the people know this, like the executives and the bosses there, they know this. You're basically expendable. Never expect to climb the job ladder or climb the career ladder by doing your work in a better capacity, because everyone who's good at their job will never be promoted, because then the person who's good at their job will be gone. So take that for what you will, Amelia. It's not what you wanted to hear maybe, but if you can invest your time and your skills into yourself, that's probably the most profitable and most rewarding, fulfilling path for the future. So don't try to live someone else's dream, try to live your own dreams. Obi would say this is more motivational speech from a Firefly that I'm going to ignore. And that's entirely correct. I mean, never listen to older people. That's also one of the tips here. But it's just a general sort of word of advice, something that I would say, that I would tell to most people that I know, like, take care of yourself first. Anyway, with that out of the way, Mr. Simpson, I hope you enjoy your gambling. Do know that gambling is banned on Twitch, so you're chatting from Twitch, but you might not, like, your account might not last long if you stay like that, or say something like that. Amelia, let me know, are you still here? Did you run away? I would not blame you for running away. Let's see what the diff looks like. So we have Our cell types, so the bamboo stick is hollow, the chimneys are hollow, the pipes, like let's see if we got all of them, metal pipe, copper, gold, patina, steel, corroded, yeah, those are hollow, and that's 8 blocks. And Amelia adds, wise words actually, I like the advice, I'm also aware of this one, I've been watching a team working lately and I've really liked how this team managed their, got no word for it, it's just a small team. I'm still here, I'm enjoying the stream well, I do other activities, I understand, nice. The column block measure now knows about hollow caps. In a few places, that's good, and in 2 places we added the hollow cap thing. Render the base material with the hollow cap, yeah, that's looking good. We can't really optimize these diffs. Add hollow cap. If we have the displacer enabled, that's looks like it will compile. That's good. The vertical face itself will set up the vertices, and then we pass them along and add hollow cap if requested. It's good. A team of 3 or 4 people who have worked on 2 very good MMO sandbox games as well, which I played for years. Okay. Through my years I had opportunities to get to know more about their stuff, and that really got me invested. Hey, if they're a local team, or maybe like you're young enough, you can travel the world. So send them an email, say I played your game for a lot of time. I'm really good at it. I'm like the one person streaming the game most often. This is about the Space Marine Orcs or whatever it was called. Space Marine Orc Battle. Just, they can use someone. You can learn on the job. I see a bright future ahead of you. If your internet is good, because maybe you can even work remotely. So your internet connection needs to be good. Make sure of that first. Yeah, so I don't really super like the effect that this method is now public, but it needs to be shared by the column block measure. So how do we do this? We could also make it private and then friend class it, but for now I can live with this. Let's just keep it like this. Create interpolated vertex. We'll take a look at that code in a few moments. Yeah, this hollow cap rim factor. Maybe instead of doing this super non-obvious magic, we just do it directly like this. So we see the pixel amounts. So 48 pixels out of 224 pixels. I think that makes a lot more sense. See if it compiles and works like that. Mr. Simpson, by the way, if I may ask you, are you a player of the game, or are you in do you like the game development side of this? Tell me a bit about yourself, if you want. You don't have to tell about all of your activities. Maybe the ban is only for streamers, so that you can't stream unlicensed activities anymore. But if you're playing in a licensed place, then you can still do it, and maybe chatting about it isn't a problem either. They currently offered on their own when I was 18, but I declined due to connection and device not compatible for what they were demanding, or at least I wanted to invest in devices first. Hey, you could also ask them, hey, you could also say like, hey, I'm glad that you want me to work for you, send me some hardware and I'll gladly work on it. Get me a fiber optic connection to my house and I will work for you. I mean, it's a business expense for them, and once you're done, you just send the hardware their way and they still have it. I'm a programmer, Mr. Simpson says, and I'm interested in game development, but I only have made basic games like Pong. Hey, join the club. This is my first and only game that I made that has been released in the wild, so don't worry about it. This is my first game. It's a bit like Pong. We've got walls, there's balls, and you've got 2 players or more, so it's basically Pong that you're looking at here. Basically. Anyway, the div looks pretty good. Let's try one more time. Okay, so blocks hollow cap and has hollow cap. This is good. We reset it to being false. That's good. We still need to take a look at the interpolated vertex thing and this method. Add cap, add hollow. Yeah, okay, so add hollow cap. We need to have a material. Okay, so see, the signature is wrong here. I like the stars next to my class names. We did it for the vertices, but we didn't do for the other stuff. So let's open up the file in full. Girder block measure CPP. Add cap, add hollow cap. Okay, here we go. Star correct place, star in the correct place, star. I'm wondering if we can maybe make these const, but I'm not entirely sure. So basically, I started as an artist. Amelia adds since my youngest age of 8-year-old, where I won every art tournament for 7 years in a row in local schools, until they said I should stop participating to let others win. I won't say it's a common problem, but it's definitely recognizable. It does ring a bell. So this shows, like, depending on the size of the competition, like the amount of other people entering in these contests, it definitely shows that you have a talent for what you do, for being an artist, for graphics design, what you will. So if you can turn that talent into money and enjoy yourself while doing so, go for it, go for it. Just don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise or abuse you for your talents. Like, make sure you get handsomely rewarded for what you do. Apparently you're in like the top, let's say 2% of people in your like category. Make sure you're rewarded for that. Once this happened, I got quite interested in animation. I switched to 2D animation and studied for 3 or 4 years. Here, you've got the knowledge, you've got the experience, you've got the chops, you've got the talent. If I were you, I would contact something like either like Ubisoft. I think, like, I know a bit more about you from other streams and from conversations we had before. Like Ubisoft sounds maybe like a place to be with products like Rayman Origins, like the 2D platformers. And what's another 2D like style? Lizard Cube is sort of a company that does retro remakes in a 2D style. So those are some companies that like pop into mind here. Create cap rim. Let's just call them rim vertices. Create the rim vertices. Create rim. Add rim quads. That's good, so this takes care of that. Create center vertex for the column. Okay, it's not a column anymore, so create center vertex. Sounds good. And it's vertex mm from vertex 1. We set up the position by just taking the center. Copy the original position. Do we have the texture coordinate set? No, we don't have it, so we need to do it like this. Yeah, okay. Add hollow, let's just call it add center triangles, and render decal if available. Now, the one thing I'm wondering about is if we can move this over to the other code part, and we can't. So we need to have this render decal available code duplicated, sort of. I don't mind it too much, but like it's in 2 places now. Maybe we can replace one of these quads with a quad the quad function we already have. So that will save us a bit of work. Add quad material. We have the material. We have the coordinate. We have the neighbors. We have the orientation. We've got the decal data. Okay. And then we just say vertex 2. Vertex 2i, vertex 1i, vertex 1. And then we've replaced this call, add rim quads. And that will take care of the decal. So this saves a lot of code. Check it out.
Oh, no time to waste, let's go.
But does it work? That's basically the question. Okay, we have the decals on here, we have the decals on here, and we have the decals on here. So that works. Thanks for the company names. With my obsession and passion in art, I quickly wanted to study the 3D model art. Okay, much more specialized in poly textures, models and stuff. That's also when I started to adventure in 3D animations. 3D animations is a pain. I am much more comfortable with pixel animation or 2D animations. My impression is it's basically the same, but I have no extensive knowledge or experience with any of these things. For Angeldust, like the cartoon visual style, we use the 2D animation package. It's not pixel art, it's like puppetry, so you define bones and then you just move the layers and the bones around. And it's very similar to having 3D bones on a model, except you have one more dimension and the expectations for 3D animation are for it to be a bit more realistic. Other than that, I'd say like it's basically technically the same thing. But again, I have no experience with this. You should ask Robotic or Spaces Green if you want to have more like detail or like more stories about using that package. I explained to them how it works technically, so I provided them with the software that I wanted to use, and I made some custom like changes or modification to the software for it to fit into the artwork workflow. But I thought it was a very, very like samey process, 2D or 3D animation. You have bones and you animate them. Okay, so we can probably do the same optimization over in the column block mesher, but let's make sure first that this method is exactly what we want it to be. Like we add center triangles here, but we could do two together. We could add them as quads. It would save 2 lines. Is it more intuitive to do it like that? I'm not sure. Then we have this, create interpolated vertex position. Let's make sure we use the right properties here. Yes. And then 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, factor, factor, factor. So it works. It's not the most beautiful code here. I would like to... oh, we can optimize this just very slightly. Let's call this model vertex... we create a reference here, model vertex pointer I is interpolated dot model vertex like this, and then we can use I instead of so that's interpolated dot model vertex dot interpolated dot model should be lowercase m, and we replace that with I 7 times, 6 times. It makes the code slightly shorter. So let's call it IV then, interpolated vertex, IMV, interpolated model vertex, MV, model vertex, and then we should have the I in there, interpolated model vertex, IMV. It's a bit more complicated, or I misexplained it. Okay, no, it's also my lack of experience. 2D animation has different genre of rules. I again do not have the word even if I know it, don't worry. 3D animation requires much more different types of knowledge to execute a proper work. 2D animation for characters you build on Angel is very specific for the environment you built that made it fit. That's entirely true. Like I say, we make cutouts, we make a puppet, we make cutouts of the layers, and then we animate the bones so that we can have like layered animation. For 3D, you add bones to the geometry. It's a bit different. Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, and then we can also make like if we want to make the code shorter, we could also sorta replace or create references for all of these model vertices. Model vertex mv1 is vertex1.model vertex. And then we can sort of like replace all of these. Replace. It makes the code a bit shorter. And why is this one getting mad? Because it needs to be const. Oh, but we can do that. And then we have a const 2, there we go, like this. And then we replace model vertex 2 with the same ID, mv2. Boom. It looks just a tiny bit more tidy this way. And we could probably introduce a method here that just does this for all 6, but I don't want to go there at the moment. So instead of calling this IMV, we can call it model vertex I interpolated. So these are all of the form MVI is MV2 minus MV1 times factor. It's good. Does it still work? That's the big question.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
So we introduced a few more lines of code there, but it looks a bit smaller. Interpolate vertex position, interpolate texture coordinates. It's basically a set. This is a set of texture coordinates. So interpolate texture coordinate. It's good. Texture coordinates is already plural. We're done. Okay. So what was the other change that I still wanted to do? Can someone remember? Did I forget? What's the other change that I wanted to do? It was in the column block. Hollow cap, decal data, add vertical face. I think this is. We need to check the stars. Okay, we check the stars. This is looking good. Star star star. Add hollow cap if requested. Probably a ghost in the machine. I think this is good. I think we can commit this. We went through all of the lines, and it's looking good. One more story by Amelia first. Yo, I remember when I was studying 3D animation, it was a blast of fun, but mainly to learn due to passion. I could already see myself feeling the opposite way in a serious project. That's definitely something that you will encounter in real life. Doing something for fun and learning how something works is much different from investing thousands of hours in the same product to make it perfect. Hey, look, I'm still here, I'm working on the game and I enjoy it. I mean, that's entirely cool. But there are definitely moments where a project can sort of start to drag you down and you feel like, why did I even start this? Do we want to include the patch for like dragging things downwards as well? How do we do that? How do we even do that? Should we include that? I think we should include it, or at least take a look at what it looks like first. So that's the object 3D measure. And we probably have some code that checks, calculate the visual object to block offset based on the block style. Here we go. Chairs, they will adapt to the full visual height with an object above them. Okay, panels, tapered. Okay, and then we need to check for a column here. And it should be an actual column, not a girder. How do we check that? That's a second problem. Okay, let's just start writing code. Case, block, column. Boom. Because I don't think we've got case, block, girder. That doesn't even exist. Okay, good. The object, objects can sync into actual column blocks with hollow caps. Break. How do we write this code? If block geometry utilities is actual is block with block style is block is column or flag is column or girdle block is column or flag block. Do we even do it for flag blocks? Question mark. Oh, this will not compile. Sorry. If we put a cactus on top of a flag, does
no
it,
time
the
to waste,
flag
let's
get
go.
bigger? I'm pretty sure no one has ever checked this in the game. Angeldust flag, here we go. Boom. Cactus. Boom. It works! What madness is this? See, if you... Tell me if anyone, like nobody's watching, doesn't really matter, but... We need to find in the Angeldust community someone who made this construction. Because see, the flag now doesn't connect to the column anymore. The flag is actually inside of... See where my mouse cursor is? Not sure if you can actually see the mouse cursor, but... let me take my pointy stick here. The flag doesn't even connect. And admittedly, it's a bit of a weird construction. But, it looks cool. That's a look, lol. Ah, okay, we learned something new here. Amelia, are you looking for a... are you tired of being alone? This is the 5th one of these accounts that we got today. And Amelia says, right now there's a lot of spam going on, so I will... Right now I'm just focusing with my normal 2D digital art, landscapes. I can do both anime style or realistic styles. My games and my current job, which has nothing to do with art or developing. Okay. I even have these spams on my YouTube channel. There we go. They do have all of the right emojis though, so if you are alone, you're probably thinking like, yeah, let me click on this. That's what I wanted to have. Okay, so even if we are a flag block, we need to make sure that it sinks in there. Also, one of the problems is that if we have a object with a huge trunk, a huge tree, if it were. Yeah, we definitely don't want this one to sink into the pot. So maybe we just don't do it. We just don't make it sink into the pot, because then it will be clipping through the pot. Hard to tell really what the right approach is. But I don't think we have to do it. So it will just stick above it for now. Or do we close the cap? If there's an object above it, we close the cap. That's also one of the possibilities. So if there's an object above us, we just close the cap. What does that look like? So let's undo this change. Very old school, I'm just undoing it here. Column block, okay. Add vertical face, yes. We know our neighbors here. If we have a hollow cap and false, so we don't have block geometries, is object, neighbors, neighbor, MMT. Please. If we have a hollow cap and there's no object above us, we can do a hollow cap.
Oh, no time
Otherwise
to
we
waste,
make
let's
it solid. Like this. Boom. Solid. Is that nicer? So like these, then it gets closed off. I don't like it. I don't like it. We introduced this special geometry to make it shine. So even if there's an object above it, the pot is going to be hollow.
No time to waste, let's go.
I mean, from a distance it looks pretty good. But I like the fact that, for instance, this is going to be a hollow metal pot. I mean, that's so much better than not having a hollow metal pot. Everyone agree? Everyone agree. Okay, so I think our diff is pretty much done, which means that we can uncheck all here, and then we just close all of these folders. We want to commit the has a hollow cap. Boop. We want to commit the column block changes. So the noise you hear in the background, this whirling fan noise, it's just my laptop. It's trying its best to cool itself. Add hollow cap, yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. Okay, column block. I approve of these changes. I am Firefly and I approve of these changes. Do you still take suggestions for future updates? Sure, I'm always on the lookout. One of the latest additions to the game was something very cool. Photon Mimic. Have you already seen the Photon Mimic? It's a block that lets you change appearance of blocks, so you can make animations in the game now. You can... wireless photons are added, so you can... there's so many changes. But like the best ideas and the ones that fit into the game's design, I usually add very quickly. I like this. 48 to the 4, okay, that's good. And then we have the hollow cap, add cap, set up the texture coordinates, add hollow cap if requested. Oh yeah, we need to, this comment needs to be in a different style. I usually call this short circuit, so exit the function if we have a hollow cap. Short circuit if we have a hollow cap, there we go. And that's the same that we do here in the girder block thing. Okay, everything is messed up now, but I like it. We also do need to update the code generation here. This change needs to go in there. This change needs to go in there, and this change needs to go in there. We are not looking at the materials, we're not looking at the block decorations. Client generated source code is also cool. Oh, it's gonna do that weird jumpy thing one more time. Because I have to save the file again. Has hollow cap. Short circuit if we have a hollow cap. Save it, and now it's going to go mad one more time. It looked like it wasn't going to go mad, but it went mad one more time. You mad, bro? And then we probably want to include these changes as well. Yes, hollow cap, hollow cap. This is the change. My suggestion is that your game is very well built for MMO sandbox lover, even if it's not really an MMO game, but the mannequins that move and talks kind of give it a little sign of MMO genre. But in terms of yourself and your own profile developments, it's kind of lack of something. I am not sure, but I believe so far seeing new animations, more flashy, godly weapons, animation skills would add so much more into the game. Yeah, I agree, I agree. It's just that I don't have like super much artistic talent, and you would need someone with artistic talent for this. Also, why is it reverting my change every time I switch to this one? I think we're gonna have to commit this from the command line, because I'm not trusting Xcode with this. So let's see, what do we commit? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 files in total. Code generation. But what we're doing right now, so we're updating the look of the game world, trying to modernize it and add a bit more flavor to it. That's already a step in the right direction, I believe. Cell types, CPP, HPP, okay. Then we want to add code generation. Cells, blocks, no, blocks, cells, blocks. I might not trust Xcode, but Xcode is definitely easier than this. Artificial column blocks. Yep. Then we add the generated source common cell types CPP. Yeah. Source client. Oh, we can basically add the entire source like that. Okay. And this should be all 10 files. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, there we go. And then we git log for a moment here. Do we git log here for a moment? I think it's 409. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think 409 is our issue. What you did with the mobs and the character design itself is good. The animation for the current weapons are also very well done. But yeah, I just want to make sure that it's not bad, but just like of this something. Yeah, there's a lot of graphical things that you could add, like particles, more flavor to the world, maybe make the world more interactive. All good ideas, all good ideas. And that's maybe something that we can also try to do in this sort of retexturing thing. Your branch is ahead of Origin Master by 4 commits. Okay, that's not good. We should probably push then soon. Commit with a message. Allow column and girder blocks to have hollow caps. See issue 409. Let column and girder blocks have let some column and girder blocks have hollow caps to improve aesthetics. It's improve aesthetics. It's too long. Have hollow cap geometry. I think it's even better because it's not a texture. Allow column and girder blocks to have hollow cap geometry. Boom. Committed. Particles. I love them. Imagine particles around some light blocks to make the world more alive. For instance, or how about leaves falling off of trees? That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
But indeed, like maybe in the dark, you'd have some dust particles just floating around near the lamps, and then you would get a bit of more volumetric effect. Oh, that will be nice. That will be nice. Okay, so now let's see if we can find a wonder where we have hollow caps. No cap, but a wonder. Dragon Throat Valley. I spy with my little eye. No hollow cap. Hey, this is a this is supposedly. Let's see, step on this. Wine deposit. Yeah, this is a wine cellar. Okay, textures are missing, so bear with me. But now you can see that we finally have a nice... See, this is a bamboo stick, I think. Yeah, bamboo stick going into a water barrel. There you go. So here we can already see the upside of having hollow barrels or hollow girders. Wow. The wine cellar. There's actually wine coming out of this thing. But yeah, what people are really into in sandbox games like yours are the MMO contents and the progression you can make to your characters. So basically, amount that we play the guy on board. Nice machine. I know these are hard to do alone. Yeah. Indeed, but there will be more avenues for progression and character building and like making your character look and be more individualistic in the future. But first, I think graphics are a pretty important thing to tackle. Hey Leticia, how are you doing? Leticia is an in-game character. Okay, here we've got a plant pot based on the sandy brick chimney. Okay, good. Good. And here we have another plant pot, which is a brick chimney. And I like the decoration, I like the feel of it, and the look of it, the smell of it. Okay. Yeah, so I don't think we have got any more code changes to commit at the moment. So this is only texture stuff. This is all texture stuff. like block decorations, materials, that's all texture stuff. Generated texture stuff, texture stuff, texture stuff, texture stuff. Yes, okay. The shader file has got a few tweaks to it, so we lowered the ambient thing, and I removed some of the lighting stuff. That's why we have the shadow artifacts coming in. But what I want to do now, so just as a special treat, now you might ask, like, why is this a special treat? As a special treat, I want to do one more texture. I want to make that brick chimney texture. See if we can make that one look good as well. Because we did all of this work in making the geometry look good, and now I want to reap the rewards of having nice brick chimneys. So stick around for a moment. In my opinion, this is a next-gen graphic already, just with the shadows and light you implement in the game. That makes all the tricks. Yeah, if you look back at earlier live streams on this, Amelia, you will definitely see that this new style, because this is a new style sort of, evolved, and now we use textureless textures. So the textures don't have any texture, they only have displacement, and that results in a normal map and an ambient occlusion, and that gives off this graphical effect. And it takes a bit of getting used to. Some of the textures like this one still need to be replaced, and the wooden planks as well. Takes a bit of getting used to, but Obi sort of summarized it with the bricks like this. They are not blocks anymore with the texture, but they are now actually bricks. So that's very close to what you see here. Everything has got depth to it now, and it's got layering, and it sort of feels like the geometry is much richer than before. And we've got directional lighting going on, which I think is an industry first, like baking ray tracing into the geometry and then just not having any real-time penalty for rendering that effect. This is sick, yeah. Check it out in Eclipsy, another build by Obi. See all kinds of stone textures here, but especially the courtyard. I love this part. Like, we've got directional lighting everywhere. The roofing tiles need to be changed as well. But this feels, it's very cartoony, but it also feels very real. And I think this is a style that will appeal to many people. It's very rigid. It's sort of pixel art deluxe. It's pixel art with normal mapping and ambient occlusion. And then this is the grass. Also textureless, except it does have like definition to it. And then we also have the grass things on top with more depth to them. It's a very stylized, cartoony look, and I think it's perfect. Hey, chimneys, chimneys. So we definitely want to do the chimney texture. Here we go. Because I believe, and this is like, I'll probably regret these words later on, I believe we can do the texture really easily. Half an hour. Let's take half an hour to do the texture, because I want to eat lunch at the normal time today, for once. For once. Just once. PBR, blocks, bricks, base bricks, and then we call this one base brick chimney. Shimon. Oh, whoops, wrong folder. Cartoon, blocks, brickerinos, bricks chimney. That is true. That would appeal to the people. Yeah. Again, if it feels like the ground is shaking, that's because it is. We probably reuse the base bricks texture for this, so we start with the displacement map. Bricks, PBR, bricks, chimney. Chimney. First the M, then the N. Okay, PBR displacement. We need to change the artboard size to 2 to 4 by 480. I think the idea is that we keep this lower brick sized differently. I mean, that looks good, but it's wider. I recently bought a new laptop and a new iPad. The laptop would be the IdeaPad 5, nothing impressive. Hey, don't knock it, don't knock it. New laptop, sounds good. Our inner glow is 26 pixels. So I think our layout is that we have two wide boys. Not white, but white boys. It's not good. It's a white boy summer here. The iPad, it's the new iPad Pro M2. It sounds very OP. Yeah, that sounds like a beast. That sounds very impressive. I think the texture is good as is. I think this makes it good. Yeah, check if it works. I think it will work. But make sure it works. You go ahead and check it. Right, 2 to 4. I remember my 2018 iPad was heating up when playing your game for a while. Still might happen. It's multi-core, multi-threaded. It's designed to run as fast as possible, sort of disregarding the feelings of your device. So it's, yeah, make of it what you will. But it will run hotter than not doing anything on the device. For sure, for sure. Close all of these files, don't save them. We open up the new displacement, bricks, chimney. Looks a bit abstract here. This looks even more abstract, but it's all good. We smooth out the normal map. And then we can already save it. Now I'm not sure if we have multiple files for this. So bricks, chimney, RT colorized. But we also have the pillar. Where does that take its texture from? From this? And then just using only half of it? We'll see what happens. So it should be called bricks, chimney, PBR. Bricks, chimney, PBR, normal. And then we extract a ambient occlusion map. There we go. That looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Save it. It almost looks like half of the regular texture. So I like it. Bricks, chimney. Bricks, chimney, PBR, AO. I really have to buy the thing that allows you to ride flying mount so I can start playing and finish my tall area building quicker. Yeah. That sounds like a good idea. It's also for show. I mean, don't you want to show off that you've got this dragon? You do want to show off that you've got a dragon. As a chimney, this looks nice. This looks pretty good. I'm a believer. I enjoy this very much. Bricks, chimney, AO. Okay, so we need to make an albedo and we need to make material. So we can probably copy those over from cinder blocks. Do we have columns? No, we don't have the columns just yet. We do have wooden planks. Pole. So we want to have the material, the base, and the albedo. We don't really need the albedo because I can draw one myself. Last time I checked, I saw that you allowed us to pay with more cards. Maybe? It's just PayPal. It's just PayPal. So whatever PayPal supports in your country is what you get. I can't really, I don't really have anything to do with that. It's just what they support, you can get. Yeah, we're going to draw our own version here because we have that weird canvas thing going on. Come on, half an hour, we can do this. Come on, work it, people. This is the albedo. Now, the time has finally arrived for my glory moment. Wait, can't do it with debit card. Now they allow debit card, prepaid card, PayPal. I do not have PayPal in my country. I don't know. I have no idea. Like it, but PayPal, in PayPal you can enter different things as well. See what you can get. If it's not in there, I'm really sorry. We can look for another way. Like send me an email, support@Angeldust. It's on the website. Because you could do a wire transfer. So like, don't worry about it. We can work something out, maybe. So here on the support page, it probably says email me. Email me, yeah. I have no idea like what kind of the donation things are or not supported. I don't know. I just don't know. Or you could say I'm clueless. 0, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 7. This is our material base map. So having to draw these every time is getting old a little bit, but bricks, chimney, material base, because I am a material base in a material world. Once I get my money, I plan to come back building there on my free time. The dragon will be more than helpful. I know. Bricks, chimney, PBR, material. And I live in a material world where I select the base material file and then we select the AO. Yes, there we go. Exactly what we wanted. Bricks, chimney, material. So we should have our full texture set now, for the side at least. I can see them pop up here. Bricks, 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 okay. And now we need to make the additional. So 3 more textures. And then we need to take a look at like, what does this look like? Like this, Firefly, that's good. We probably just copy over the bamboo one, because I think the bamboo one is very generic. And it's going to be like super good for everything. Yeah, we copy over the bamboo, bricks, bricks chimney, bricks, chimney, additional PBR displacement. This looks good as is. I think we will have like the same sort of profile to the bricks, except that we want to make sure that their inner glow is the same. I think we had 26 pixels, which is a bit much. So can we copy over those settings? What does a brick look like here? 99, 26 pixels. And here we have an inner glow of 1, 2, 3. So let's make this 99, 99, 99. 16 pixels. We might want to go a bit higher. 20 pixels. Do we still have white in between? We still have white in between. Let's go. And then the hollow portion also starts at 99 now. So let's edit the gradient. 99, 99, 99. Boom. Then do we make it deeper? No, it's already as deep as it can be. Hey, the dragon will be more than helpful. I understand. It's sort of... on one hand, it's unfortunate that you have to have the dragon to do that. On the other hand, it's such a cool status thing. Yeah. Bricks, chimney. You also get more colors for your heroes. You get the cheese block so that you can build more cool stuff. It's and it's not cheap, but hey, yeah, it's not cheap. But that means that you're part of the elite crew, the elite club. See, it takes more time than you think to make all of these files. but we just keep at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully this will look good first shot, and then we're happy. Which file be additional displacement AO? Are you lonely, Amelia? Stop watching. Start clicking. Okay, we have ambient occlusion. Now we open up the base file. This is good. We're gonna do it like that. You like it like that. And then we open up this file, relink it to the bricks, chimney, material base, yep. And then we add in the ambient occlusion. It's a lot of repetitive work here, but it's just what we do. Did we see it change? It should have changed. Does it look good? Let's try. Okay, we need to move back to the base layer. Sorry about that. Save, save, save. And then we need to make an albedo. We have the normal map. We have distinct material maps, and now we need to make an albedo of it. So that's 12 files that we just created. 2 to 4, 2 to 4. Zoom out, boom, create white. Save, bricks, chimney, PBR, albedo, boom, bam, bada bing, bada boom. Save it in the right folder, boom, close. There we go. Actually, I got my new iPad 3 days ago. Okay, I got my new iPad 3 days ago. I was thinking like, this is my gaming saving normally money I only use in games. I was fighting in my mind if I should get the Dragon or get the iPad. The iPad sounds like a good investment, because lately I've been so much out of stocks when it comes to sandbox games. I was just playing them FPS games, but now I got so bored, so I was thinking about your game. Hey, nice. Also, like one thing I hope that sort of like inspires people is that I stream a lot, and I try to like make it fun for everyone. And hopefully that sort of reflects on this, that you thought about, hey, we had some fun live streams, maybe I can Pikachu one more time. Okay, so this is the bricks chimney block. Yeah. How do we set up a material for this? Bricks chimney. Okay, we do it like this. Texture name PBR style additional is bricks chimney PBR. Bricks chimney additional. Yes, your streams are fun. Thank you. I try my best here. But then what does the bricks pillar do? Oh, it uses the cinder blocks additional. There we go. So if we like our style, we should start to finalize things. The problem is that your base fan community is quite low. Tell me about it. And still, I wanted to do these development live streams on this channel because it got more subscribers than the other one. But maybe it's a bad idea. I have no idea. I just try my best here. Hey, we've got our thing. So here we go. This is the chimney with a similar, like if we place a regular block next to it, with a very similar style to the regular bricks block. And okay, so the pillar does have the weird top part to it, so we need to fix that later on. But that's good. That's good. Like the chimney itself, if you look inside of it, it gets darker. It's got this nice top piece to it, so that's good. I like it. I think if we place multiple, yeah, you get sort of okay. The texture sort of reflects here, and I think it's independent. Yeah, it's independent of where it's positioned. But it looks pretty good. So let's see what it looks like in Ekplexy.
Oh, no time to waste. Let's go.
Let's go to Ekplexy. It's daytime. Oh, there's some nice detailing going on here now. See this? This pillar now also has texture to it. So there's some nice detailing coming in here. When I used to post about your game on my Instagram page, which is the most known of all my other socials, it used to get a lot, like really a lot of views, much more than my current games that I play. Maybe you should post one more time about the development streams here. It would be nice to have more people watching and playing. Maybe a video about some of the newer features. Oh, we've got colored lighting now, so the entire sky is now illuminated in purple because it's magic. We did these textures in 15 minutes, by the way, 15 minutes flat. And I think we got them right first try. So check out the nice lighting profile and shading here. So your game seems to work well in terms of showing off to others. I like it. Maybe like there is some improvement to be had in that department, like showing the game off a bit better. I enjoy this. I enjoy what this looks like. Sandy bricks. Okay, so these are mirrored as well. So these are not regular blocks stacked on top of each other, which might explain why there's a bit of a transitionary gap over there. Most people I bring into the game said that the game lacks something of character progression. Yeah, especially if you've got more of an MMO crowd. I can imagine. I mean, we pretty much have sort of a linear progression for 4 characters that you have in the game. I can imagine the critiques. The critiques. Also, what's up with the top of this? The top of that thing over there. I want to jump inside of the hole. Nope. Nope. You are not jumping inside of the hole. I like the way that these columns look. Just the directionality on the lighting. It's amazing. Amazing. Let's take a screenshot. Maybe we can use this one for the next stream thumbnail. So not only did we make hollow blocks, we also made a new texture for the bricks column, for the bricks chimney. And maybe next up we do the cinder blocks column and the ruinstone column like this. Because then we just have everything. But I can help to bring new people. I just need to find people who are interested in basic raid and buildings. Yes, indeed. But this looks good. The chimney looks good, especially with the hollow portion to it. So not sure if Obi or if anyone else is watching this post facto, but it's definitely a good improvement. Maybe tomorrow we can work on the column version texture of the cinder blocks, because I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and we really have a very consistent style. Trust me, I'm very good at bringing new people. I understand. I've already seen the magic happen, Amelia. I've already seen that magic happen. Also, Amelia, here we go. This is maybe what we want to do. One very cool new thing that people don't know about just yet, because it's just sort of like we're testing it. There's a 3D version of Angeldust on the Google Play Store these days. I introduced it like last week, and so far nobody or not a lot of people have downloaded it. So if you now click on support and go to the Google Play Store version, it's actually the 3D version of the game, so Angeldust 3D. 1+ downloads, I'm not sure how many that is, like it could be 1 million. But like it's paid for a few euros, but it's now in full 3D. So previously you only had the cartoon version on the Google Play Store, but this makes it a lot easier for people to get the 3D version of the game on Android. Thanks for reminding me. And now we are teleporting to Neferspi, because we probably also have a lot of brick columns over here. We already saw the bamboos, the bamboozled. Okay, here we already have sandy brick columns, and we've got regular brick columns. Oh, take a look at the texture. Take a look at the feel of this. You can just feel the layering and the different textures here. So one thing that we noticed last time is that the bamboo has got the bamboo sticks have got these very sharp transitions in between. So not sure if we need to do something about that, make them even gentler. But check this out, we've got a lot of bricks here, and it's just so nice to have all of that like shadow, lighting going on, the material properties themselves. This is a pixel zoom, so it's not going to be super pretty, but that's sort of what the effect is. So here, even in the distance, you get these very nice ridges between the bricks. That looks really good. And here, even further away in the distance, it adds so much flavor. It adds so much flavor that you do not have with the regular textures. Wow, this... It's starting to look like an actual city. There's just... My eye tells me... okay, my eye sometimes cheats on me, but my eye tells me that this is very realistically rendered. Like with all of the directional lighting going on. Subankar Mitra says, can you please add Firefly? That looks amazing, Mr. Simpson says. Maybe your game can help me grow via my social media even more with how it's being developed slowly by slowly. Can you please add Fire? My only problem right now is that my iPad has some payment declining issues that not allow me to download it. I can only record on iPad. Ooh. 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 Can you add fire? So, if you want fire, the best thing we have currently is lava. This block. And it doesn't look like lava at the moment because I'm playing in this untextured style. But, oh, this feels so good. Like, the material itself, the ruin stone, you can almost feel that it's ruin stone and that the bricks are different. Let's see if we can get some more brick columns where there's lighting falling into them. Yeah, here. See, there's a lamp, like this lamp. It isn't too lampy at the moment, but don't worry about it. This lamp shines onto this brick column, and it's just so good. It reflects in the marble here. Wow, 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 wow. Let's visit the Random Wonder, one more. Le Rojon, built by Lucas53. See if we can get some brick pillars going on here as well. Is that a brick pillar thing over there? We have no idea. Lucas, where are the brick pillars? Mason. Seems like the payment was banned on my old account. I forgot this. Maria banned my old account because it was suspicious because I spent so much in games. Do you have a new one already? So if you have a new account, maybe you can already spend again. Oh, you would have to rebuy the game. Hey, but if you already bought it on the old one, it should be still on there. Isn't there like a free phone number that you can dial and say like, hey, no, it's not fraud, I actually buy these games. I want to buy stuff. So the interior. Do we have barrels anywhere? Okay, we've got a chimney over here. Good. Good. One thing we could consider is to remove the texture mirroring so that the texture is repeating. It might get rid of some of the texture artifacts that we have in there. Something to consider. Next wonder, City of Runeterra. I think we do have some brick chimneys here. But that shot of Neferspi just a few moments ago, lovely, absolutely lovely. Usually that what I do when I have to download something, even if it's free, it doesn't allow me to download. My app store is just so broken. That sounds horrible. On the other hand, I do have some experiences with like Apple IDs and weird things being broken. So I need to use the new one. Well, if the new one works, maybe you can get Angeldust using that one. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Wink, wink. Hint, hint. So next up, maybe tomorrow we want to look at the wooden planks or so to see if we can make the texture even better. Because right now we fake the ambient occlusion a lot. And I'm not a big fan of that. I want to make the wooden planks consistent, more consistent with the rest as well. Ooh, this! Wow, check out this! The lighting on this! Wow, this is so good! And of course, the horizontal facing bricks are faked as well. But just we go around the corner here. See, we go around the corner and boom! The sunlight is just falling onto this wall. It feels like we're actually in a village. Where the lighting is like this. Like, what? There's... See these chairs? Wow. Just the light falling over the roof. Into this crevice over here. It's such a high fidelity rendering. It's beautiful. Oh, we've got chairs with brick columns below them. See it? Debit card is banned in my place. We can only use prepaid card and the commission is huge. It won't cost the same price, so I'll see. Okay. You can always send me an email with your problems, and we can take a look. If you are feeling lonely, by the way, you can go to this website, and you can fill your life with emotions. Thank you. We got the message. We can fill our life with emotions. It's what we do all day long. Because I'm feeling good about this. Aspazia. This probably has got some bricks somewhere. Brick columns. Brick and Morty. Brick, 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 Morty. Ooh la la. Those are some nice emotions.
Oh, divine.
Ooh la la. Can we get up here somewhere? Ruwan, did you make a way for us to get up to the brick columns? I'm gonna assume that this is the way out of here. So let's go this way. Yes, we are outside now. And then we move over to the brick and Morty portion. Check out the difference in rendering between the this panel and the actual cinder blocks. It's night and day difference. Here we have some sandy brick chimneys. I like the detailing in the lighting above there. Oh, this looks so good. This portion looks so good. What is the in-game time? We don't know. But let's just free flight this up. This time I'll buy it, even if it's much more expensive. It's so expensive, it's so expensive. It's way too expensive. Hey, Ruwan, why did you use the chimneys? Oh, because we don't have a non-chimney version of this. Okay. The lighting on this, wow, is so good. See the way that all of the lights interact and the directionality of the lighting and the shadowing, and you want this on iPad, I bet you do. And it might be coming to iPad as well, because why not? See the depth and the layering in this. It's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful, it's true. It will cost around $10? Wow, that's a lot of dollars. It's a lot of dollars. As far as I remember, it was only $2? €2?
Been looking for this.
Where does the money go? Into the pockets of the middleman. Which is exactly the same thing as with the movie industry and the games industry. That's a lot of dollars. Again, if you have trouble or if you want to see if I can help you out there, send me an email and maybe we can work something out. Paxanima East. I could use my debit card. It would only cost $2. Yeah, that's a lot less. It's a lot less. And this still looks beautiful. We visited this last stream, but just the fidelity, again, it's the fidelity that matters. High fidelity matters, as they say. Just the way that everything is shaded now. And the wooden planks definitely need a tweak. They are way too much. Okay, we've got brick column over here. What if I sent you 30 and you give me the game and the dragon? You already have the game, so it doesn't even like this is public bartering here, but it doesn't even sound like a bad deal. Doesn't sound like a bad deal. Now the problem is how do we get the money to me? Send me an email, we'll try to work something out. I have no idea how to get your money. Get my money, buy my medicine, buy my medicine, buy my medicine. This one's for Johnny Cash, the real American gangster. Anyway, we've been looking at the texture for 15 minutes. I haven't changed a single pixel. I think the texture is just one shot good. So hopefully in the future we'll get more of these materials that we can just one shot. And on 15 minutes per texture, we have 400 textures. So that's a quarter of an hour, that's 100 hours. That's 2.5 full weeks. Sounds doable, but of course some textures will take more time. For the marble, we also, like, the marble in its base is pretty good. Marble base is pretty good. We'll visit them one by one. We'll get there, eventually. Let's visit Explixy at night. the first piece, sorry, at night. And then we're done for this stream. You can see the highlights of the marble being used. So those white pixels that you see left and right, that's marble. And here, like, it's nighttime, so we get way less contrast in the entire build, which I think looks good. I think it's a nice look to this. Come on, it's nighttime. The bricks are very side illuminated here. It looks like a horror movie. We will talk about it in a week. I'll be around. Sure. Like I might be back tomorrow, but if you want to talk next week, that's cool with me as well. Hopefully I still exist next week. Let's knock on wood. Yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Horror movie. Yeah, it's like a horror movie. Like, see the lighting. Oh, I'm the man. I'm lit from below. I'm the man. I'm lit from below. I'm a horror movie man. It's horrible. Check him out. Check him out. Especially if he turns this way. Not sure which way he's gonna turn, but I do like the golden shield that he has. Yeah, here. Ooh, I'm bottom lit. I'm lit from the bottom. I'm very scary. But the color palette, I like the color palette. There's a bit of purples in the sky, in the fog in the back, and with the sakura, the cherry blossom tree. But here, wow, the lighting makes it so nice. Like the local lighting, the brick columns. I never imagined that this texture, like a single texture, would add so much flavor. And next up, we do the runestone column. We need to get a feel for those columns. But check out the texturing. Of course, the build in itself is just beautiful. But it's just so good. And here we've got someone else. I want to offer promotion of your channel. No, I've already got Amelia doing this. We've already got Amelia for the promotion. Because everyone needs a good hype girl, and we've got Amelia, so what's not to like? Sorry, other dude, girl, person, thing, bot. It's so good. It's really realistic, and it's really good. And what does Eclipsy at nighttime look like? The courtyard. Oh, how they dance in the courtyard, sweet summer sweat. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. It looks pretty good. And by pretty good I mean it looks spectacular. Super realistic. Amazing realism. We got the job done. Just for the viewers at home, a time lapse of the courtyard. And take a look at the shadowing and the lighting and the directionality of everything, and it's just amazing. And here are the chimneys, and you can see the sunrise, and then you see the sky grow blue, and then the sky grows yellow, and then the sun sets in the back there. Wow, 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 wow. Can you give me a transformer, please? More than meets the eye. You. This is so good. And some people were saying, is this what the final product is going to look like? And I said, yeah, I think this is a very nice style. And they were like, okay. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. I love the shadow and the light. You and me both, Amelia. You and me both. It's just so good. So good. And you just walk inside of this room and you see this brick thing. I'm not even sure what to call it, but it looks good. So it doesn't even matter that I don't know what to call it. Oh, it's just so good. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's it for today. Like, otherwise I'll just keep playing with it. Let's close all of our windows. I hope you enjoyed like the progress that we made. I enjoyed the progress that we made today. Some new textures, but that was not the main portion. We now have hollow chimneys, and the hollowed out chimneys. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I really enjoy this, Amelia says. Yeah, that makes 2 of us. Just the 2 of us. It's good. It's really nice. It's really nice to see the game evolve like this. So what basically happened this week was, while doing the textures, we figured out, hey, it's going to be hard to fake very deep displacement in the geometry. So these chimneys, they really do not look like hollow chimneys at all. And because we are working on a remaster, we can change more things. So we can actually change the geometry to make it hollow, so we don't have to fake it anymore. And it's just so good. Power went out. Catch you next time. See you later, Crunchy. Thank you for watching. The chimney is the best part of the whole update, which I missed. Yeah, so there's way more to explore. There's way more to explore. So, like, this is the original version of the game. I haven't even signed into the game with this once. Let me try to get the password in there. Don't watch my password. Sure, the game may connect for once. Hey, we're back. And we're in the game. Don't watch my password, buddy. So this is the old version of the game. It still looks good. I mean, don't worry about it. This still looks good. Everything is just different, you know, the texturing and the detailing to it is different. But I still feel that this is also very, very solid, very good work. But I want to show you the Photon Mimic, just a very simple demo. Photon Mimic, it's this block, it's pretty expensive in the store. But you can choose different blocks, so you can make a block that changes appearance. So for instance, we can have an overgrown cinder block, and we can make that change into, let's do a different block shape. We can make it change into a chair, a bamboo chair. Boom. So here it is. It's now the overgrown cinder block, and as you can see, if you want to color pick it or block pick it, it's called Photon Mimic. And if I place a photon injector next to it, we don't even have to be next to it, because this is wireless photons, we have those as well. We can just connect it A22, that's the coordinate of that block. And now this trigger, this star will connect to that block and it will change its appearance. Check this out. Boom. And now it's the chair. And now it's the cinder blocks. And now it's the chair. And now it's the cinder blocks. And that's not all. If I stand on the cinder blocks, you can see it's a solid block. And if I turn it into the chair, I can now sort of like stand into the chair, so it's not a solid block anymore. Boom. See that? It's magic. That's how it works. It can change appearance and shape. And you can even do multiple ones, so if we do the cinder blocks and make it transition into a bamboo door. Check this out, and we place another one. It even now remembers what you entered. And now we do a multiple block wireless photon injector. Check it out. A22 and A23, those are the coordinates we want to change. So we just do A22, A23, we enter both coordinates like this, and now both of them will change. So this is now a solid wall. I cannot move through this. See, I cannot move through it. Whoa. But if I change it by pressing on the button, boom, it's now a bamboo door that you can walk through. Oh yeah. So maybe for the demo we do it like this. I am sad. This is a wall. I cannot move through it. I cannot move through the wall. But then you press the button. Boom. Door. Oh yeah. And it can even do 3 states. So it can go, it can have like 3 different states. Wall. Door. Wall. Door. It's just so good. Amelia, and just because you want to catch up, yeah, the live stream is a bit longer now because I want to show you this stuff. But if you go to the Angeldust website, and this is important, you need to remember this. Go to the Angeldust website, go to About. There's now a new section with more information here. Very good addition indeed. Wireless photons, Photon Mimic. If you take this one, Angeldust Creator Kit, it contains game modding tools, content creation tips, and documentation. Get this, and then you download this. I hope I'm not getting doxed here. So let's save the file. It's downloading. And then we extract it. And inside of the file is Angeldust Creator Kit. It's a PDF file, and this one documents all of this new stuff, how to do it. So this is all kinds of documentation on every feature. And using advanced Angeldust features, let's see, creating photon machinery, page 27. So it now explains how to do all of the advanced photon tricks and stuff. So page 27 starts on the right side here, creating photon machinery, photon basics. It explains like how all of the particles work and interact, activating block, launching heroes, resetting a photon block, disabling stuff, steering them around, splitting photons, blocking off conduits, repeating photon circuit segments, spawning photon balls, counting to 10, conjuring creatures and NPCs, animating game world blocks, persisting photon machinery, implementing hourly triggers, spawning photons remotely, chaining remote photon triggers, master advanced photon tricks. And then you imagine endless possibilities. That's something I have to get. Yeah, it also explains how to make NPCs. So there's a few parts to it, to this, making videos, replays, how that all works, creating NPCs, like all of the stuff. Lol, chill, you're making me want to play right now. Building is one of my biggest passions. Let's get you building then. And videoing it, and then posting to your Instagram. Let's get that going. Let's get that going, Amelia. Oh, no, I don't want to close all of the browser windows. But hey, this was the stream for now. Glad you were here, Amelia. We had a good conversation. Hope I inspired you. If you want to talk, I've done this with other players as well. Like if you want to talk about like a career in game development or what I think of it, or if you have got concrete ideas, we can talk about that. Like I'm not like super chatty at times, especially now that I'm streaming a bit more. I'm not replying to messages as quickly as before. But hey, if you're interested in hearing some of my thoughts on or on ideas you have, you know where to find me. You know where to find me. I'll email you later. I'll first see what I can do to get it. Sure, great. So with this out of the way, the stream is a bit longer than I wanted, but we did two textures. We did the bamboo stake texture and the brick chimney, and they both look fantastic with the new geometry. I hope everyone is happy. Maybe tomorrow morning I'll do another stream with texturing so that we can sort of like push forward there, see if we run into more problems that I have to take care of. But for now, this was it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna have lunch, and I will see you all later. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye. Yeah, okay, so I now need to move over to this screen, and I click on the button. Here we go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. There you go. I know how to do this. The chimney texture is pro. Enjoy the rest of your day. Likewise, Amelia, thank you for hanging around, and see you next time. I will end the stream now, so see you later, y'all.